control on the first floor to the departure lounge. Passengers will be received at 6:01. Toronto Airlines announced the departure of the first of flight 771 to Chicago and San Francisco. Passengers on this flight to proceed through passport control on the first floor to the departure lounge. This flight is now boarding at gate number 20. Airlines announced the departure of Flight 155 to New York. Passengers for this flight to proceed through passport control on the first floor to the departure lounge. Monster.
I. Joel. Songs in BG right now is all me. Test. Are there like social links to pin?
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Why would there a bot? Why are there bots here? Okay. Hello everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good afternoon, good evening. We are here. We are here with an interview. We are here with an interview. Where the fuck did my audio go? All of them are gone. All right. All right. Instant floundering. Instantly fucking floundering, guys. Hello. Hello, everybody. Let me bring the music back. Let me bring the music back. Hello. All right. Are we good? Are we good now? Oh my god. Bro, what is happening? Bro, what is happening? Okay, okay, okay. New technical difficulties dropping every second of every day. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. So, okay. So, let's start. Let's start. We will link what's being played. This is currently being played. Wow. I found a cartridge. Let's do our intro. I found a cartridge with an old game on it. It's an interview with musician Astroblur. Whoa, can you believe it? Can you believe it? So, 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 let's start. Let's start with what? Let's start with me troubleshooting something real quick because I love online. I love online. Do I have everything? Do I have everything? We have everything. Okay. Okay. So, so. We are interviewing. We are interviewing internet user Astroblur on the computer. Can we say thank you? Can we say thank you for your time? Thank you for hello. Thank you for hello. Wow. Let's turn on the computer. Are we gonna turn on the computer? Oh my god. The computer? Hello?
How do you do?
Oh wow. You're on. You're on.
I'm off.
Oh,
Sideways.
hello.
Greetings. Salutations, even.
All right. Let's get to know you. I ran into you while walking home. While walking home. Why are you labeled as Robert on my computer? Can you tell me what's up with that?
The wires crossed somewhere along the line, some polarity reversal shit. I had like a device I had in my fucking pocket that probably fired off into some weird cross universal shit. I don't fucking know.
Well, well,
There's a Robert who looks like me from another universe, or probably not even this super even far close to this one, but I'm not sure.
it's okay. It's okay. We can just hide. But we can just hide. We can just hide.
If he starts talking about filing, if he starts talking about a guy who looks like me doing tax fraud or something like that, he's trolling. Don't worry.
It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to see. There's no Robert anymore. Robert's gone. Robert's gone forever. We'll never have to deal. We'll never have to deal with that.
Never have to deal with Robert. There are no Roberts left in this universe.
Roberts are gone. Roberts are gone. So. Who are you?
That's a good question. No, I'm fucking with you. What wanderer. I say in a lot of different ways, mostly in regards to how I do things, how I've always navigated the world, how I've always navigated a lot of stuff regarding. I don't know. It's the who are me question definitely is a fun one. I describe myself first as a net dweller of some sort, or a netizen of a very nomadic variety. So I guess more or less just that first and foremost. Everything I do after kind of comes second.
What's your name though?
Which one?
Which one are you feeling right now?
To answer truthfully, there's quite a few. I've heard of this particle accelerator called a Large Hadron Collider. It's the middle word of that, like the particle.
All right.
Hadron. Indeed.
Europe, I think.
I'm a particle.
I think that's in Europe.
I don't remember if it's in. I'm not sure if it was. I want to say it's like a CERN thing.
I think it's a
It'd be funny
third
if I
thing. It
missed
could also
some shit.
very much be in Chicago. Okay, it is not in Chicago. We know it's not in Chicago.
A very specific city to pull from.
There's some shit going on in Chicago. There's always some shit going on in Chicago. They got like
You
a
say
flat trip.
there's like a lot of shit going on up there. I don't even know how to begin.
Well, we're not in Chicago right now. You're in my computer. So.
This always happens to me.
So, what are you up to? What are you currently up to?
The situation I am currently in inside of this, I assume, cathode ray tube monitor of some sort. Everything looks very, I don't know. What I am doing here,
Yeah.
I wander, I walk, I roam. I'd say to clear my head, but I can't remember the last coherent thought I've had in here. Honestly, not straightforwardly at least.
Simply think of an image and have the image come out to you.
I think of an apple because I like fruit.
How many apples can you think of at once?
That's a dangerous question to ask me. The professional answer is not enough, to be fair.
Are they in full color or are they in 3D? Or are they in...
We're always in full color 3D. They rotate. I can pick them up and rotate them around. I can scale them X, Y, Z axis, stuff like that.
Can you squish them?
Why would I do that? It's food.
I mean, squish them on an axis.
Oh. Yeah, I'd say so. It's funny to do that, I'd say.
Wait, you squish apples to make like apple pie or apple pie? I don't know what else.
You do, and I like apple pie and also apple cobbler and many different types of pies and cobblers and whatnot in the sort. Yay.
I don't know what a cobbler is.
It is a dish. It's pie-esque. You take like it's my background being from the American South coming out. Whoops. It's like a dish you take and it's pie-esque, but there's no like crust type thing. Like you dig stuff out of it and you put it on a plate, as opposed to you cutting it like you taking like a pie type crust and then putting stuff in it like that. It's similar. It's a direct relative, but it's not the same thing.
I've never heard of a cobbler before, other than like a foot guy, and I don't think you're someone who deals in feet.
I've heard of cobbler the same way I have heard of shit like collard greens, the same way I've heard about shit like sweet potato pie, and the same way that I go crazy over baked mac and cheese versus boxed mac and cheese, much as boxed mac and cheese just gets me by, I suppose. There's a lot to me.
Why would you bake the mac and cheese? You have to boil it.
Huh?
Don't you boil mac and cheese?
I can't get into this right now. We gotta go on to the next.
So the grapevine tells me you're a musician. What are your
Perhaps.
tell me what music is.
It's an art form. There you go.
All right, cool. Tell me.
I think it's not just an art. Okay, well, fuck. That's what should I say? Fun.
No, continue.
So, it's an art form. That's my actual answer. My actual answer is it's what you make of it. Something like that. I don't know. It's an art form that's characterized by doing shit regarding audio stuff, and I don't even know how to get into theory and whatnot and sum that up easily. That's a very big question you asked. I love it though.
Well,
I fuck with it.
let's go on. You're a musician. you make music. Tell me about the current thing we're listening to. Tell me about Dark Angel _ 2006 released on March 16th, 2004. All rights reserved.
Did that say that on the date? I remember.
That's what it says on Bandcamp.
I might change it to. Ooh, it says. See, I remember it. I recall it saying a different date, but I should edit it to say 2004 for vibes for reasons. Dark Angel 2006 is. Oh god, I gotta sum this up because I have a big thing to say about it. It's a vague sort of concept and idea that has existed in my head for a while of this sort of idea of dark futurist maximalism that is sort of coalesced with like emo subculture shit from back when I was a kid, because this was back when I was really young and I didn't really necessarily know what was happening to around me until I actually looked into it. Pardon me. There's this sort of I don't know, because people think a lot of shit with emo subculture and they think stuff like My Chemical Romance is a big band that was big with those people. There's also like Sleeping with Sirens, like Bring Me the Horizon back when it's kind of associated with that subculture as well. Bands of that sort, whatnot. They kind of comprises a big umbrella of, I think, sounds and genres, but emo music, like rock shit, is generally its own thing as well. For some fucking reason, I have no idea why, but I associate like there's a specific association I have in my head with like how that correlates to like trance synthesis, like trance, like the genre, specifically when it sounds quote unquote dark, but that really just denotes like music theory shit. It would take too long to get into. But the actual tape itself that was started to play earlier was something that I did in one day because I finally let the idea blossom in my head, and I was thinking like this would be an interesting prelude to a bigger project that I have. To sort of, it was a vaporwave, or it is a vaporwave thing that I sampled entirely shit that I grew up with, like hearing, but none of the sample sources match that typically associated with vaporwave at all. This is purposeful as fuck. This is very purposeful. It kind of helps build the image, I think, in a way, even if it's vague. It's kind of really just there as a very loose taster versus anything else, but it also kind of appeals to my nostalgia and memories and stuff like that. It's it's a lot of things. It would take me a while to just get into it like that alone, TBH. That's my answer for that, I suppose.
We can get into it a little bit if you're chill with that.
The actual concept behind Dark Angel 2006.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I see the album cover is Maple Story.
Well,
and
it's a character that I made. It's a character that I made in Band Story, which is a tool of sorts that uses a lot of sprites from Maple Stories in our library, whatever the heck like that. It's very old. I used to make characters in it as a kid, so full circle. Effectively, literally just full circle. The background is a big collage of shit that I associate with emo shit, just kind of coalesced together into like this big thing. I JPEG artifacted the shit out of it on purpose because that's how images were on the internet back when I was a kid. So, blah. To get into it in a manner that kind of allows me not to necessarily get super in depth, I think I was pretty hermited as a kid for a lot of reasons, most of which are not very good reasons, but that's for later or potentially, I don't know. My development was very hermited because of that naturally, and this is kind of really just a byproduct of that, as is the title, as is the quote-unquote motif that the album that this is tied to is kind of going to be circulating and sort of doing stuff with. So the whole reason this exists is kind of, it's to pacify me in a way, but it's also to sort of assist bringing this idea to fruition, even if in a more rudimentary and pretty way lower effort type of thing than my big album is going to be, that this is tying to.
Okay. What do you say? So I'm assuming this project is, so you said this project was very tied to nostalgia.
A lot of my shit is just fundamentally speaking because of just how I navigate the world and stuff. It's me just wanting to do art that relates to that, and sort of, I mean, God, how I even want to do album shit is very specific. A lot I could get into there, but overall, a lot of it is tied to not just necessarily dealing with that type of stuff, but like aspects of trying to live with it as opposed to living underneath its influence. That's kind of what like the year 2006 is about the head world itself, but the album that it's tied to, Night Prophet, is kind of about not living in that anymore.
What do you say?
It's a long story.
Oh, sorry.
There.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. I said it's a long story there.
What do you say? How you said about living with nostalgia and not under it? How can you get more in depth onto that? What do you mean by that?
I think there's such a thing as like, I think there's such a thing as just sticking by stuff that you are like attached to emotionally, that you got attached to as a kid, and then there's kind of not ever actually growing up, or not even necessarily not actually growing up, but willingly sort of plunging yourself into a world in your own construct that is derived from your memories as opposed to how the world actually was. It's a pitfall that I fell into more so in the past and now, especially even last year. But it's something that I'm familiar with, and it's something that I think I have seen people struggle with trying to get out of, or something of like of that nature. And I think it would just benefit a lot of people, I think, in my generation, because I think a lot of people either want to be like that, or they either want to be like that really bad because of stuff happening to them a lot, or they have a significant issue with getting out of it because they're already locked in pretty deep. They know it's maybe not a good thing, but it's too comfortable for them to even want to rise out of. The album is kind of for that demographic, more or less, for a lot of people who are dissociative and escapist because of whatever the heck reason back when, the same kind of era when I was a kid. So I think I'm not the only person who grew up like I did.
I completely understand what you're getting at, and I kind of am also leaning into a lot of that with my personal stuff. However, the interview is about you. So, it's about you. So, I have to ask, is 2006 for in specific a year you chose, or is it just one you picked out of the decade?
Deeply important year for me because I signal it as a. I was born in the year 2000. For the record, contrast 24. Yay. I don't know. The first 6 years of my life were definitely important. I remember them pretty fondly for a lot of developmental stuff, but it was really that year that I highlight as the year to put in the title for the Vaporwave tape, but also have it be a recurring motif for Night Prophet Genesis, which is what the Vaporwave tape is tied into. This like big dark trance thing I'm doing. It was a big year for me because it signaled a grandiose shift in my life overall. I used to live, well, I guess for background, I said I was from the South earlier, and I kind of alluded to it, even by me being familiar with soul food and shit. But I'm from the big, I almost said great state, but very not great state of Texas.
Everyone's
Greater Houston.
Texas keeps coming. Texas keeps attacking.
Yeah, Greater Houston is the metropolitan area of origin. I think it's more than just a city. It just feels really fucking big. I was born around the southwest side, which is a predominantly black part of the city, and I started off down there for 6 years, and I had a lot of developmental stuff kick in. But it was only in 2006 for my parents, my grandma, got a lot of stuff together, and we hauled ass across the entire, not even just the city, but the metroplex. I went from not even super far from Houston and like A-Leaf to like pretty actually far from downtown, like very, very far up in Spring. That was somewhere in mid 2006. I remember it like it was yesterday in a way. I don't know. I remember like actually getting to the house and all that, being able to move in, and then cousins coming over to like help, like break in the new digs in a way, regarding staying over and stuff like that, and a lot of different things. But that year is important to me because I consider it the sort of beginning point of my actual sort of brain developing proper. But also, it's kind of literally how it goes for a lot of people who are like children generally. Because I mean, it's people say it really kicks in and around like when you're an adolescent. I don't know. I think I might just be commenting on something that's actually just fucking normal because I do that a lot. But it was really at that point I kind of had more of an awareness of the world around me, especially as it related to pop culture. As it related a lot to stuff I was interested in, like music and video games and stuff, which both of those directly are inspiring the album heavy. So it's important to mention. But yeah, important year for me when it comes to, I guess, a lot of the current me developing as opposed to the very core me developing, I guess, like personal development shit, really. It's just very important to me as a year overall, and I consider it very important to the record because the record is kind of literally just about me in a way.
All right, all right. What do you say? Well, you've talked about the upcoming project you're currently working on. That this album that's
Uh-huh.
currently being played is being tied to. What
Uh-huh.
what can you tell us more about that album?
Yeah, I've talked about it pretty publicly at this point. I'm not really hush hush about shit I'm doing upcoming. Mostly just about stuff that I post work in progresses, but it's spelled like night_prophet.genesis is the first part in like a trilogy that is going to sound very different from first record to third record. The first record in this series is Night Prophet. Second one is second and third have different titles, but they have different genre. First one I am centering around. There's this fascination I have. I talk about with the sort of sound of dark trance. If you're wondering what I mean by that, whoever is hearing this will definitely understand. If I say YouTube national anthem, you'll probably get it immediately if you were on the same circles I was. And if that doesn't ring a bell to you, Dreamscape by 009 Sound System did a lot for me as a kid. I'll put it like that. It's not going to necessarily explicitly just sound like that, but that song is a big inspiration for how the album is going to sound. I will say, however, my exposure to dance music goes as far back as when I was literally a child. A lot of different ways, even like getting into like music production shit for a second. My first foray into music production, I was like no older than like 4 years old. There was this game on Shockwave called Groove Blender 2 that I was dicking around with. They had a genre list. If you wanted to make hip hop, you could. If you wanted to make funk, you also could. If you wanted to make electronica, that was the list. I laugh now because electronica is a nothing burger term, pretty much. And then I tinker with it, and it's just techno. It's literally just techno. It has like the drums. It's got like the acid-based stuff as something you could put in. It's just techno. My exposure to dance music goes far back, very much so, when I was a kid. But it was hearing Dreamscape on some fucking rinky-dink ass YouTube video that really put me on. So that's definitely a side inspiration for that. But that's just regarding the dark trance sound. I'm doing trip hop stuff on there and a lot of drum and bass. And additionally, because those are two other genres that I've been familiar with as a kid that I have always had a fondness for. One way or another, I at least realized it a bit later on. It follows a vague narrative I am trying to shape, so I can't really share right now. But it does follow a vague narrative, but it does center around the sort of idea that I just laid out when it came to not living in escapism and just actually trying to live your life, I suppose. It's a point I'm at right now where I think I definitely should be doing something like that, considering the last time I'm going through personally. I make a lot of stuff that is very actually personal in a very general sense, so I can't even really say this is the most personal thing I will ever do, but it's kind of like this dark trance record with like trip hop and D&B shit on it that uses a lot of dark blue colors, and it has a pretty interesting list of inspirations that I will disclose around. Maybe I can disclose in chat, actually. Should I do that?
You can share. We can just share if you want. Don't worry.
It's a big list.
Oh, if you have like an actual list, you can just send it in chat then.
Yeah, no. It's a big list. I have no demos available, but it's a big list. I'm trying. I hope it formats normally. Reach character limit. Awesome. Okay, hold on. I got this. I'll probably just list the first. Actually, that works. I'll list it down to the middle. Yeah, that works. I won't. This isn't the full inspiration list. There you go.
Black Rock shoot.
Formatting fucked up, but yeah.
Proud of you didn't mention. I'm so happy. Okay. So you mentioned 2006 and nostalgia and all of that. I know we are both of similar eras. Is there anything you miss about that time that
That era of
of like
early.
the mid to late 2000s? Is there anything you miss about that era, even though we don't have the bestest like the concept or anything about the culture that seemed like something to
Leans in incredibly close. This is not really a big monumental thing to say, because I think 500 billion people agree. I think 500 billion people agree with me at any given moment whenever I mention this, but man, I miss the early internet. That's probably the one thing I long for the most from that era. Obviously. Because by the time that year came around, 7th gen was already here, and I think I have nostalgia with that gen, less so than the 6th gen, but even then, it's mostly just my feelings toward the earlier internet that I really yearn for, I suppose. Maybe additionally stuff regarding TV and cartoons, but I think seeing real was like years before 2006, and that was kind of already. Ugh.
I think that was 2009.
Huh?
I think that was 2009.
Oh God, I don't remember. I don't even remember.
I remember it so vividly. I actually have I remember the day it happened because I was like watching shit and there was like here's some roller coaster bullshit.
Seeing real was 2000. And,
it was in the summer of 2009 because because I got jump scared by Andrew WK and I was like so scared that I like started crying.
Jeez. God. But no, I miss a lot of stuff around the old internet at this point. But it's really an a lot of thing and not really an all of thing, because this became apparent in a lot of different ways. But man, you cannot like. I can't tangent about this. I'll go on for way too fucking long. You gotta be careful with like how the nostalgia shit works with you, because I think I think everyone viewing, and I think you might actually just know this by now, or you've picked up on it, but that shit's an industry.
Yeah,
it's been an industry for a fucking long ass time. Not even like, God. You see it bad enough with the 80s shit.
The 20-year cycle thing and all that.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like
it's just so normal to me at this point. I didn't really consider it remarkable to point that out, but like I'm around people who like are not aware of it, and I point that out and we're like, wow, and I'm like, yeah. This is why you got to be careful, because people like GameStop will do a thing where they start running old games and consoles from when I was a kid, also when a lot of people around me were also kids. I think as far back as 6th gen, I want to say, but also including 360 and shit. And people will be like, man, this stuff is more expensive than it should be. And I'm like, well, that's how they get you. I don't know. It's not mine, I know. It's whatever.
Wait, quick aside. This album's like the chill one to put on, right?
Anthology Psy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Just making sure.
Anthology Psy and Anthology Chi are like top tier in my heart.
Okay.
I constantly make shit that exceeds both of them at this point, but they're still good. But yeah, and 2006, I miss the old internet, and Night Prophet is kind of difficult to produce at points because it's so thoroughly about me, not even necessarily in my interests and how I interacted with those, but it's just about me as a person back when I was then. And I don't know, it's kind of something for me as opposed to being for everyone else. I'm just sharing it with the world. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it.
So you mentioned the nostalgia industrial complex that keeps happening. you mentioned this. I'm
the industry.
What do you think of growing older from your teens and seeing all the 90s nostalgia and then aging into becoming to the 2000 nostalgia and now knowing what that is like because you were part of the nostalgia instead of secondhand nostalgia?
This has been on my mind for the past month, so this is an excellent question. I have a lot of feelings about the fact that I continue to be in situations where I will talk with someone on Discord, Discord, and I'll do something like them talking to me about a computer thing, and I talk about how Discord is a fucking VoIP, whatever, and they might get confused immediately, and I realize, oh. Or something else will occur where I will talk about how much I have been torrenting shit. I won't say what kind of stuff.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft. I've been torrenting books that I own legally. God. I talk about stuff that of that nature. But I'll speak to someone about stuff like that, and they'll be like, "Oh man, can't you get viruses from that?" And I'll be like, Or maybe it'll be a situation where I talk about how YouTube used to be able to fucking. Well, no, that's not even a good example. I'm trying to think of it. Shit's coming around is what I'm getting at. I am kind of at a point where the first time it happened, I was surprised for maybe a couple of seconds, and then it really hit me. 2000 was like over 20 fucking years ago. I gotta not grieve about this, or even be a bitch about it, or even be surprised that people who even born 2 years after me grew up very different from me. I don't know. The Zoomer shit's very interesting. But yeah, I can't say it's weird. I can't say it's unexpected. I'm just kind of to a point now where I'm like, oh, I'm at that point. This is how the 90s kids felt. I guess this is how the 80s kids felt, so on and so forth. I'm just at that point. Cycle just continues.
Our turn.
It's whatever. I only don't get jaded about it because I don't really see any reason to get jaded about it. I think there's a lot of stuff that the kids are doing these days that it's not like what I was doing, but kind of just isn't the same orbit or whatever the heck. So like, I kind of don't really judge. And if they do get some stuff wrong, like if I hear someone talking about fruitiger arrow aesthetics or some shit like that, and they bring up Windows XP or like the fucking like Nintendo, like the Nintendo Wii only loosely counts. I don't know, whatever. It's a matter of me just telling them shit, just being respectful about it, because respect goes a long fucking way. And they're always appreciative, and they listen.
You're not attacking 8-year-olds with hammers.
It's not a fucking God. It's not fucking rocket science. I think there's like, even I get gatekeepy shit with that because people can be. People are allowed to be more protective than I am when it comes to a lot of different things, and I am protective to be absolutely fair. It's just in my own way of just educating generally, but not everyone has to be fucking nice. They don't want to be, It's whatever, really. It's just something that I just kind of realized, and I was like, well, I'm there. People on Discord call me old, and I'm saying I'm 24, and I found out they're 18, and I'm like, oh wait.
So, a question I have, because this is something I've been thinking about a lot, is do you feel... So, if you're talking to someone 3 years younger than you versus someone 3 years older than you, do you feel like you can connect more with the person 3 years younger than the person 3 years older?
Case by case basis, it is never... honestly, neither. It's weird. Case by case basis, but also kind of neither. I have tendencies that well, I don't know. I break shit up in my head to early and late Zoomer, but I think even that demographic shit is not something to really get anal about for a lot of different reasons. I have late Zoomer tendencies, and I have a lot more early Zoomer tendencies, but definitely some, I don't know. Because I think when people think Zoomer, they tend to actually just think late Zoomer. Because people who qualify as early Zoomers are, I think, not millennials, but they kind of more so can talk with people like that and have a conversation with them versus them talking with a late Zoomer about some shit like, I don't know, TikTok or something like that. Because then the early Zoomer will probably just express a lot of disdain, and the late Zoomer will probably talk about how it's actually kind of funny. And the millennial in this conversation, or a more adjacent to millennial, won't even be paying attention to the fucking conversation because they got shit they need to do.
Millennial in the
Stuff
room.
like that. It's fine. It's not actually a bad thing to be. You get the idea. I think when I talk to people who are not even 3 years older than me about stuff like this, the attitude can be infinitely more jaded than I am, but not in a way that I don't get. I don't really contest it or fight it or argue with it or try to force myself to converse more, especially if they just do not really actually give a fuck. I just kind of, I mean, just go, at that point, you just go to someone else. But also, same kind of shit would happen with like later Zoomers anyway. So it's like, Like I would go on about some stuff that I realize is some old head shit, and it kind of flies over their head a lot. And I'm like, oh, I'm out my depth here too. So I feel like I'm in a weird in between, but it's probably not actually a big deal. I can probably just find other people who also feel like they're at a weird in between. I say that specifically because I think a lot of people who are in positions like this might think they're at an impasse. I don't think they're at an impasse. They just feel trapped. It's a long story there.
I understand.
I do feel like I'm just kind of at a weird in between though, but I also don't think I'm anywhere near the only person born in 2000.
I understand exactly what you mean because I've heard, and I've also heard this take from a lot of people where, which is why I asked that, because I've heard a lot of people who are like cuspers or whatever the fuck you call this, having issues connecting with the late millennials and the late and like the younger Zoomers because this
Late millennials and younger.
because it's like the 97 to born in 2004 era, 2003 2002 era.
2000 and 2002, but also I
Yeah.
think this shit doesn't really actually matter. I've like,
Well, I mean more so because they see more so the thing of being able to see the internet before social media takeover, because the later like people multiple like around 2005-ish didn't really get to experience that.
pretty much, yeah. I would say I would say 2004 maybe, like, but also 2005 definitely onwards, 2006 especially if we were born, yeah. Oop.
Like remembering a time before iPhone, to put it in
Yeah,
millennial terms.
pretty much. No, pretty much. God, even I feel weird because like I was talking with someone about this once in like a server that I moderate actually, about how I think I told this person something like, I remember when the iPhone came out, I remember when BlackBerry was a thing, like that was the top phone brand, and they were like super dumbfounded, and I was like, yeah, I just didn't react. I couldn't. What am I gonna do? Be surprised? I mean, shit.
Be surprised at people being young.
People are young and weren't born in the same era as me. This is so shocking.
It's a very good attitude to have, though, not to resent people for being younger, because I know a lot of people our age and older, but just in general, not like exclusive to us, but people in general have.
It's a culture thing
like
that
that.
just goes back to aging generally, as opposed to it being localized in a demographic. The same way that even being in a demographic is kind of depending on the person, as opposed to decided by what year they were actually born in. Because like I know someone who was born same year as me who was infinitely more later Zoomery than I am, and I think there's people who are probably born same year as me who are way more millennial aligned with shit they like, and that's fine. I don't know. It's not really a big deal. That shit's just it's kind of really just marketing term shit anyway. At this point, whatever.
Yeah, it's just marketing. If you fit someone in a demographic, you advertise to them, and they're like, "Oh, I like SpongeBob episode season 2, episode 3. I watched that on Nicktoons."
There's truth to it when it comes to like interest stuff and like culture shit, like sociology and whatnot. It's interesting, but I think the shit that really is a pitfall to avoid is when it ever gets to a point of talking about like fitting in and then like getting really stringent about stuff.
Yeah.
Man, this is a far conversation from the music shit.
Oh well, but let's do. Well, low key, the mo of my everything is a bit about nostalgia and analysis of that. So whoops.
Oh, you can have me on for. Dang, I wouldn't mind coming back on
Well,
for other stuff. TV.
Well, that's why we got the PC 98 look here. Like I wasn't born for this shit.
So I have seen.
We got this aesthetic for some shit I wasn't around for, and I like talk about that.
I my Discord username I won't say on Twitch, but it literally is just a model of PS2. I won't say which one though.
But back to
It is,
music.
so I get it.
But back to music. Before we nostalgia out. Before we continue nostalgia out.
Okay.
How would you describe your music to someone who's just like a random guy on the street who doesn't know what any musical term is?
Oh, this is fun. I've been thinking about this one for a while. Hmm. Abstract retro. A love letter to the abstract and the retro futurist, I think. That's the big ass terms I threw out in the second one. Fuck! Sorry, you said on the street. You said it. How would you describe it as someone on the street and I used retro futurism? Do you know what that means?
I know what it means, but I'm like on I like don't go outside.
I think that makes sense. It's not a crazy term to figure out. It's just a big word.
Oh yeah.
You take retro, old shit. You take futurism as a concept of course, just futurist shit that was back in the day as opposed to now. And you take abstract stuff as it's my art, kind of literally just that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, something like that.
All right, now describe your music to a guy who uses rate your music.
Fuck. Shit. Christ. I'm an experimental electronic what's it. I would probably not be verbose even if someone did use that site and they told me that they use it often purposefully.
I wonder if you're on. I wonder what people label you on that website.
I don't even know. I'm not gonna look.
I'll look.
Have fun.
I'm just gonna look at your newest one. You got some. It's just an Echo Jam.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah. Well, okay. The other ones just don't have genres.
They don't have genres.
Wait. This one. Wait. Voidman 2, Synthwave, Sequencer and Tracker, Post-Industrial, Chillwave.
Synthwave, fucking whatever.
I'm sorry for informing you of the rate your music genre tags for you.
It's like getting a it's like getting it's not like getting misgendered, but fuck. I just go up and I'm like, here's my thing. You're like, this is this, and I'm like, that's not that at all. Actually, I didn't even use drums like that at all. I use more synthwave shit on Starblur. Anyway,
I can go on this website and like change the tags.
There's a lot to why I don't use that site like that beyond just trying to find stuff.
Understandable.
Some interesting questions in the chat.
Okay.
We'll get to those later.
Okay, so we have an ad break coming up in 30 seconds. So in this ad break, I don't we can farm hot takes or I can go piss.
You could tell me hot takes. I could tell you my takes on your hot takes.
I don't know how many hot takes I have. But yeah, if you wanna be around for 3 minutes of hot takes, subscribe. If you don't subscribe, I'm going to starve under a bridge. I don't know. So hot takes. Give me a hot take.
Okay. A hot take.
One hot take, just one.
A lot of my hot takes are just normal. Okay, give me a second. I can't even think. I didn't even have one ready. Fuck.
Hot takes are not ready. I'll give a hot take. I don't like.
No. Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
I don't fucking know. Okay, I guess. Well, all the hot takes I have are kind of like counter things, or just attribute me not having adequate social exposure to a lot of shit as a kid, as opposed to big hashtag opinions I have. Let me think of something that about people.
Well, we don't necessarily have to farm hot takes. This is a bit of a bit.
I'm just kind of wondering.
Okay.
I'm kind of wondering if I have any at this point. Yeah, I don't. Actually, no, never mind. I don't, because all my quote unquote hot takes are just opinions that I have. I don't posture about them.
Do I even have any hot takes?
I'm like, I don't know. I feel weird growing up in a world partially like spending not even just a year or 2 fucking minutes pre-social media, not just pre-social media in the general sense, but also pre-social media in that like I mean, I don't know. MySpace was introduced when I was a kid, and like when I say pre-social media, I don't even mean necessarily pre-websites. I mean like the culture surrounding it.
Oh,
So I think that
yeah.
shit has. I think social media has been around literally since the early 2000s. Let's be real, or maybe even prior to that, if you want to get really technical regarding like
Friendster.
a lot of stuff, like chatting, instant messaging, shit, whatever the hell, like that. But I don't know when around the time that I want to get into this topic because I think this is a crazy thing to just talk about. Around the time, like even before Gamergate hit, like social media kind of set in. By the time that shit set in, social media was like loudly a loud voice present in like the world and like stuff. But that was kind of when I saw hot takes and shit take off as a term, and I was like, what even is that? I don't know.
We call this algorithm baiting. We call this
That's what it
being
reads
desperate for
like.
money.
Cause like Twitter literally profits off of engagement. That's kind of their whole fucking thing. So like when I see someone make a hot take about a thing, and I'm like, okay, and they just go, I like this popular album less than this unpopular. It's like, all right. Okay, I mean, my favorite fucking Gorillaz album is The Fall. It's not Demon Days. It's not fucking self-titled. It's not Plastic Beach. It's The Fall. But also, I'm not gonna posture about it. People react to it. It's like, is this your first time hearing an unpopular opinion? Like, Christ, I don't know.
Hold on, is that your
Everyone's-
favorite Gorillaz
I
album?
don't know if everyone has one, but so many people do. Whatever, huh?
Is your favorite Gorillaz album The Fall?
Yeah, I'm
All
being
right,
serious.
hold on. Let me give you my YouTube reaction real quick to that. We need a engagement bait real quick. What?
All right.
You like The Fall? The album sounds like electronic minimal synth, electropop electronica, minimal synth, down tempo, electronica,
Reading the genre.
and it's got a 2.6 on Radio Music. Oh my god! I hold on.
I have far better things to care about than what a specific website thinks about an album that I like.
You have that is the best part. That is the best place to be.
I know people who kind of are convinced that they have to care, and it's like, no.
Well, it's like the whole thing. It's like the whole thing.
It's
I need to get my.
They didn't internalize that like the world fucking changed from pre-social media for post-social media. No, from pre-social media to post-social media, and they just kind of got immersed in the world of post-social media. It's like that like there's these are standards that people adapted to because they felt like they wanted to, but also maybe they just feel like they had to. But then like people around people who are like, man, I hate that I have to do this thing that I don't have to do. It's like you don't have to.
Yeah, like a lot of
I see like to this day I see people talk about the hell site x.com and they talk about how much they hate it. It's like, okay, I did this thing where I uninstalled that from my phone and I don't log into it basically literally ever unless someone sends me a funny picture or maybe I get a DM on there or something that I need to check. That's it. I don't even post anymore for the most part on there. Like my first time logging in for a while was legitimately to promo the thing that I'm on now.
Yeah. I do think a lot of the getting heated about album opinions or general opinions is just looking for validation from the media you consume instead of and like making it like a whole thing, making it like I am basing myself over my interest instead of just like engaging with it as it is just like it's something it affected me. That's what matters. You don't really need to put a number to it. You can if you want.
It's kind of literally just that, yeah.
Like you can if you want. Like I do that on Radio Music just because it lets me catalog things, and it's like this is how I was feeling when I rated this.
The winning move with Radio Music is to just catalog your shit and find just cool obscure shit if that's your jam. That's really it.
Yeah.
Learn more about genres maybe here and there. I don't fucking know.
No, I will say.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So no, sorry. I cut you off.
What were you saying?
Oh, I will say that me rating stuff poorly on Radio Music and having other people react to that has honestly helped me revisit stuff I wouldn't have otherwise, and finding out that like, oh wait, I actually do like this now, or this is like to my taste now. Big one recently was like the I need to not make that joke. The Strokes.
The Strokes. Oh, I see what you mean. I did not mean to make that joke. You silly. I see. My
Oh.
relationship with a lot of music I listen to is very specific and blah. But that's blah. I don't know.
Well, we all have a relationship. Also, the ad break is over. We all have a relationship with music. We all have a relationship with music. I like to think most of us have a healthy one, a good one.
Okay.
I like to imagine that we listen to music because we enjoy it, and we engage with the community because we enjoy the community and the people it brings together and brings to us. That's the point of the medium, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Or you can disagree.
I think it's up to whoever.
Yeah. Everyone gets something different out of it. I like me making
Yeah,
a
pretty
broad
much.
stroke claim. It's like I know it's a broad stroke claim. It's just like that's what I get out of it. So that's what I'm saying.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much.
So we have moved past the introduction.
Thing.
We let's get into it. Let's get right into the weed. What got you into
The
making
fun
music?
I was 12 years old. Around that age. I could answer this and be thorough and go back to shit that dates all the way back to when I was very young, but I will just be concise for the sake of thing. I was somewhere between 10 and 12 when I first heard like progressive house music through a lot of deadmau5's older songs at this point. It was Strobe. That was the one that did it for me. What happened was I found out that he used FL Studio within enough time, and I got a copy of Native Instruments Massive, successfully pirated and installed somehow when I was like 12, but also
In
I was doing a
Minecraft?
lot of crazy stuff when I was 12. I was doing a lot of crazy shit on the computer when I was like a kid, TBH, but that's just that's a whole other tangent. Not even like crazy bad stuff. I mean, crazy like I was like a lot of high level system operation stuff to get my computer to look cool, and I was like tinkering with like a lot of stuff as it relates to like getting separate operating systems installed on my PC and being able to dual boot, and then like installing specific touchpad drivers so I could do multitask. I could do multi-touch gestures with my trackpad, stuff like that. all types of stuff. And then I ventured into FL Studio as a thing to tinker around with, and then I did, and I got the MIDI for the lead for Strobe that I like a lot on the Native Instruments Massive, and I put it on the sequencer, and yeah. And I think my eldest sibling kind of grilled me for not making something original and instead of just doing something that someone already did. And I thought in my head, well, that was mean, but okay. That's kind of when it started. I was 12. I've been doing it for 12 years now.
So I'm assuming that deadmau5 is the specific artist you'd like to point to for that.
Not anymore. God, a long story there. There's a lot of inspirations generally, and I have kind of dabbled in it since I was a kid. But it was when I was 12 and I heard that song specifically by deadmau5, and I got FL Studio. I was like, this is the moment. And then, actually, not even just that, because I started doing like really shit dance music, and then I stopped doing that stuff in 2013 because of life event stuff, and then 2014 I kind of picked it back up. I was doing vaporwave shit hella, and then 2015 hit where a former friend put me on to Ableton Live to use this at FL Studio because of how it worked with audio sampling, or just sampling. Because I could just say sampling. So sampling audio, I mean, and how it was way better for that than FL Studio was. I got familiar with that DAW. I watched the tutorial or two, and then here we are. I kind of went all over the place, but it terminated in me kind of literally just being good at a lot of different genres overall. A specific artist album I would like to point to as an overall inspiration for music production for me, though. I have to pull from my top 64. I think my heart currently says is actually a difficult answer. I could say so many different things.
To name a couple.
Blanket answer, I think, is somewhere in between Los Angeles by Flying Lotus or Cosmogramma by Flying Lotus.
Ooh. Oh,
Not necessarily the specific sounds that Mr. Ellison puts on those records. Although I do like both of them a lot because of how they sound, and I think they fascinate me a lot and make me feel really nice and fuzzy when I hear them. It's the fact that both are kind of all over the place, and I mean, it's him accomplishing a specific sound that I just associate with those albums and no one else. So we're trying to replicate it, like tied to just a lot of stuff regarding how I have a lot of passion and also hip hop shit in addition to dance music. There is dance music on both of those though, for the record. He has that kind of draw as well. So yeah. Flying Lotus's career from his first album, Los Angeles, his prior release, 1983, and all the way up to I think Until the Quiet Comes is like A1, if you ask me. That's pretty big for got me into like trying to be myself with this music shit. Is what I'm getting at.
Those albums are fucking banger. They love them so much.
Yep, Los Angeles is my favorite album ever in the world.
This leads into how do you feel your inspiration and goals with music have changed since you started? Well, let's start with inspiration. What inspiration have changed since you started? This is a two-part question. Let's ask them one part at a time. Whoops.
No, you're good. If I go from the point of actual beginning 2012 up to now, it went from dance music to like I want to say pop-esque shit with the vaporwave era. Pivoted right the fuck back into dance music, but also hip hop shit has kind of been in there the whole time as well, but it's been subdued. But I'm kind of bringing that out a lot, especially as it relates to like trap production and shit. That was like gonna be my grind for a while. The only big change that occurred is that I kind of stopped doing vaporwave and pop related stuff a lot. But even revisiting how I would do that now, I kind of realized, oh, I can just do that now. It's down to like a formula thing as opposed to whatever the heck else. So my inspiration shit was more rigid, I think, back in the day, and I was very matter of fact, but trying to achieve goals in a way that was not really doing it for me. Trying to sound like an artist who had been producing for longer than I had even really known what a DAW was. Back in the day, Trues comes to mind. Shout out to him. Amazing music from that guy. I think I tried that when I was a kid, and I was like, I don't actually know what I'm doing. And then I kind of realized by the time I got older, it's like, oh, it's not about trying to sound like other guys. It's about pulling from what other people do at most. It sounds cool and incorporating that into a wider artistic vision, really. I see people who are newer, and I talk to people who are newer with production, and I kind of have to guide them through that in a sense, or I feel like an urge to, because that pitfall will absolutely hinder you if you really get stuck in it. Absolutely. Like, if you try to sound like someone who you think sounds cool, SoundCloud or Spotify, you also just don't do that. Just because there's a fun aspect of this uniqueness of humans is, I think it also ties into the art that we make. If I made an album that sounded one-to-one like how Los Angeles by Flying Lotus sounds, that's not something that's normal. That's like remarkable. That's like crazy. That's like historic, even considered for like scene stuff, whatever the heck. That's not normal. That's not typical. That's not even really preferred, and it's not gonna. Even if I did pull it off, it wouldn't be easy. That's like a lot of stuff I got to backtrace for regarding software that he used at the time, and plugins and sample sources, potentially stuff he was pulling from, a lot of different things. So I'm just less rigid. I'm way more fluid now with a lot of different things, and it's better that way. I'm more confident, if anything, with people I do take as inspiration. Sometimes it's very direct inspiration. Sometimes it's really abstract. Now more so than ever before.
So, what would you say your goal in making music was back? Well, you already said your goal back then was to sound like the people. Oh, I needed not to say sound like your Oshi. But you said that was your goal back then. But just to reiterate, what do you say your goal back then is, and how would you say that it's changed into your goal for making music now?
My goal is to make cool shit and get big. Then my goal is to make cool shit and have fun now. Two different things.
I'm assuming getting big would be a good thing to have in there as well, or nah?
I don't think I want to be a career musician, honestly. I think if I get big on platforms and stuff and I'm able to perform places, yeah, but I don't want to commit to anything grandiose, like no crazy record deals or anything like that, where I have to put albums out under a time frame period. Like, I want nothing to do with that. I don't know.
Makes sense. I know some people do it because I want to do it professional, and other people just do it for fun, for the expression of it all, the joy of creation and all. So I ask, I wonder, what musicians have? Yeah, but sorry. I already asked this question. What have there been any songs recently have there been any song recently or any releases recently that have kind of made you go that have made you that have impacted you profoundly in a way that these other albums you've described earlier have? Also thank you for the sub. Thank you for the gift sub, Quasi, and also thank you for the sub earlier, pal. I forgot to say thank you.
Oh, that was quality. Yay! Any recent stuff that's really inspired me?
Recent doesn't have to be within the month. It can be within the past like 4 years.
I was gonna, because like the biggest recent thing that's came out that has been inspiring a lot of stuff that I have not released yet but have been producing is Inf by Carbine, which I think is a really cool album. I think the biggest inspiration to my current sound right now that I have that I can cite as a very recent thing, as recent as a month ago, is Alea Ayacta Est, however you say it, by LLWLL. It is actually in a not necessarily similar sounding all the way vein to what I'm doing, but in a similar enough vein to what I'm doing in an abstract sense, not in a very direct sense. It's dark trance. It's drum and bass shit is in there. It's also got hardstyle stuff in there, and additionally, and techno shit generally. There are songs that just do breakbeat shit. Additionally. It's a cool record. I like it. It's been inspiring my shit a lot. It's a lot more noisy and airy than what stuff I want to do, but I kind of like that it is so airy because it sounds very cavernous because of that. It's a cool ass album. I don't know how else to put it.
I love the cave.
Shout out.
I will try to link something that you mentioned them.
I can blink. I'm quick with the fingers.
Yeah, you can. I don't want to have you do more things while you're being interrogated.
You underestimated my ability to multitask, but it's fine. I'm not actually upset.
Okay. Next. Okay, so. Oh, I like have the question in my head, and then it just like exits my head as soon as I start talking.
Mm-hmm. That question in the chat is, I can't wait to answer that one.
So, is there anything you wish you knew earlier in regards to music production?
Anything I wish that I knew earlier? Kind of what I just. The new question is so fucking funny. Kind of what I said earlier of like, because if the advice would be for me specifically, because it suits me specifically the most, I was too goal oriented with an art form that I think I should have just been trying to have fun with since day one. So I kind of would have just went back in time and just been like, 1, chill out. 2, don't compare yourself to others, especially considering you are going to grow to not even want to be a career musician anyway. Get no record deal or anything like that. Maybe perform in places, but not even really as a grandiose big thing, like as a quote unquote performing artist. Like how, yeah. 3, never forget to have fun. I don't know, because I was not having fun for a while with the music shit. It was me trying to pander for a while, but I finally broke out of that. I'd say like last year or the year before. So go me. It's ultimately just that.
Okay. I think hold on. I think I broke something.
That's reassuring.
Oh fuck, I did. Oh no.
Would you Ray?
Oh, I broke something. No. I had like the question theme happen. I had the question theme all like set up, and I like, oh, let me change this one thing so it doesn't say test anymore, and it fucking broke everything. Ah. Uh-oh. Oh no. Okay, it's okay. It's okay, guys. It's okay, guys. Oh, sometimes brings the break. Sometimes. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry. One more. No, it's because in Sammy you have to change it like directly like there. That's the issue. Hold on. I'm sorry. 1 second, 1 second.
Very good. Someone's asking me about like status right now. It's fine.
Okay, okay. Apologies, everybody. I will still ask your question at the end. It's just whoopsie. It fucked up. It fucked up. You can't ask your question now. It'll work. Might be. You'll still your questions are not canceled. They'll still be asked. It's just they won't show up. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Back to everything. Back to everything.
Actually, everything.
Is there an album
Except-
you wish you could have shown a child version of you that was
Child-
released at the time child version of you existed or younger version of you?
2012. Ooh, good one question. I would have to go back to like what, because I think all the stuff that inspires me the most is stuff that really came out kind of already, but or stuff that came out recently. Sorry if I meant. If I go by release year, I'm just going on my page on the website that I scorned earlier to be funny. Hold on. So I can think of something. I would have to go all the way back to like years and years prior. Oh, man, all the stuff I was listening to that I did get into already. Where's my favorite record from? Oh, never mind. Easiest recommend ever to kid me is I think a split between Too Rude by Chalices of the Past and Galactic Melt by Com Cruise.
It doesn't have to be like the number one. It can just be a couple.
I just picked those two as like my top two TBH, considering where I am now as a producer and stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
it would definitely lead to a lot of big, cool revelation.
Do you think that younger you? What do you think younger you would think of your current music production, your current releases, and your current
Younger
methodology?
me, 12-year-old me would fucking geek at my, not even just at the fact that I got good at house shit, but the fact that I have like a list of genres that I'm like either good or getting better at as days progress. Kind of was always my plan, much as I didn't really think that it was. It was kind of always my plan in a very abstract way.
Is there anything you wish you could tell younger you about production that you wish you knew earlier in typesetting?
Start learning Ableton live. I mean, sorry.
Hop off FL now.
Stop off FL Studio now.
I was my child and me learned FL Studio because of Frank Japsy.
He's cool though.
I saw Frank Japsy at the furry convention I went to, and I was like, "Is that the guy? Is that the guy?" I was like, "No way, he's at a furry convention." Then later on, I learned that was actually him. I was like, "What the fuck?"
You could have been like, "Hello."
I could have been like, "I watched you when I was a teenager. Hi."
I would have been super chill about it, TV.
That's what I heard. Because like someone else I talked to hung out with them and said, "Oh yeah, he probably would have hung out with you because he like chill and like wants to just hang out with people."
That's the vibe he has. He's always kind of been like that.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
I was just like so surprised. I was like, "Well, you got me into making music when I was a child. I haven't made music in years, but I made a lot of music because of your stuff." Whoa.
Yeah, his tutorials are pretty interesting, especially with like when he was getting into I forget what tutorial he talked about like disco music and how the fall of that was ruining a lot of anti-black. That's a long story. I don't even want to get into that now.
Yeah. I learned a lot from same. I think the tutorial from him that I learned a lot about was the Crystal Castles one. But this interview is about you, not about me.
Or Crystal Castle. Or Frank Japsy.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I believe we shift away. We make a shift away from talking about music for a little bit.
Okay.
Unless there's more music things you want to discuss.
If I continued, I'd be here all night. You're good.
Well, is there things you have to say or things that you feel you need to say? Say them.
No, I'm
You
good.
have the floor. We all want to hear you talk. We're all here for your take on the world.
I think like I could. It's hard for me to like just kind of spitball. Just
Well, of course,
like,
I just gave you a blank piece of paper and said draw the Mona Lisa. But yeah, it's blah, 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 blah. I believe I have known you for a long time, and I've seen how your music has changed over the course of knowing you. Though in the time we've known each other, we haven't been, Oompies who talk to each other every day. I've just kind of been aware of you since I was like, what, 14?
Damn.
15, 14, I don't fucking know.
That's about right.
And I've noticed how different your aesthetics and your approach to music are, and I want to say that it's very awesome to see what you make now versus what you made back then. Not to disparage past you's music or what you've made in the past, but just
I was just learning. But even I was doing some pretty alright shit when I was like 16 or like 15. It sounds strange, but it's, I don't know. I can listen to that and I'm like, I hear potential here. Same way I would tell someone else who, I don't know.
Yeah,
same way I would tell someone else that.
Always be nice to your past self, and always be nice to someone who's learning, and when you're learning, because you're always learning. Everyone starts somewhere, all that type of thing, and that.
The stuff.
And
Yeah.
that could also tie in a bit to like the nostalgia of making things for the first time, not being as experienced with it, because that I'm assuming, I'm making big assumptions that you also kind of feel or think back to the days of when you didn't know everything you know now about what you do, and going like, huh.
It's to kind of learn from and to kind of just make peace with a lot at this point.
Oh yeah. It's not to, once again, not to disparage like past you or past me. It's just seeing back then and seeing what was possible then that you didn't know then, but you know now. It's like, oh, huh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I have that, like for me, I have that really big with streaming, because the way I do things now versus the way I did things when I started like 2 years ago was like, to me 3 years ago when I started streaming, I would have never imagined making a scene like the one I'm currently have right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or like how to even start, or that I could even draw something like this, and here we are.
Yeah.
So, do you ever go back and listen to your older stuff and just think to yourself, wow, that was cool?
Yeah, I go back to my old shit when I was like 16. I listen, and this might actually, or I realize how cool this actually sounds. So sometimes I resample shit I made when I was a kid, and I make it sound. I don't know. Me taking shit and I flip it to sound better, or I just take a specific part of a thing that sounds really cool that I made when I was a kid, and I realize that the original sample does actually sound really cool, and it does. I don't know. It still sounds like I made it.
Okay. That's fucking cool. That's honestly really fucking cool, especially when you just like see yourself in the past and you see yourself now and you're like, I'm still this person and just have a different way of doing things now. Or not even have a different way of doing things, it's just I'm different now. And it's cool to see the person I was and the person I am.
Uh-huh.
There was a question. Oh, I keep having this. I have a question and I forget. And I forget it as soon as it touches my lips. Oh, I'm giving myself 2 seconds before I move on. Okay, I'm moving on. Nostalgia, all of this. Let's talk about ourselves. Let's talk about you. Tell me a story. Just any story. Just tell me a story you want to tell. Like something mundane that you still think about.
Oh.
Let's start with that instead of giving you like once again a canvas with the Mona Lisa.
No, you're good. I can tie this into stuff regarding interest in demographics. I was with my mom at the Walmart that I normally would go to that is not super far from my house, somewhere far north of Houston, northwest end of thing. On my way to checkout with my mom, we had like big big grocery basket full of stuff as you fucking go to Walmart to get. I don't know how else to put it. This older guy sees my shirt and he stops me and my mom, and he's super chill about it, but he's very, like, his voice went up probably, I think, a good 2 fucking, I don't know, octaves or some shit when he saw I was wearing this tee. I was wearing a Boards of Canada t-shirt. It was black. The graphic is the logo of the band, the two-piece act, whatever the fuck you want to call them. It's a logo they have. They have several logos. It's like a logo that has like a building with trees on the outside of it. He was dumbfounded, and he basically co-signed my taste in music to my mom, which I thought was really funny. But older white guy, I forget what he was wearing. He was dumbfounded seeing me wearing that, considering not only I think I was definitely younger, but also, I mean, I think a Black American wear that, especially. I think just really, he did not expect it. I didn't really feel singled out. I didn't really feel like it was a weird move. I think he was just actually surprised. I don't know. I think it didn't hit me until I actually got home when I told my friends about it, who I was hanging out with at the time, who were into shit like that. Yeah, this is definitely not the most normal thing for me to be into demographically. Not necessarily abnormal in a fucked up way, but it's not what people would associate a Black American with, especially one who, I mean, I don't think gender shit really factors in here overall, but I don't know, when people see like a black boy in like a fucking Walmart wearing a t-shirt for a music thing, they think I'd be probably wearing some shit like some fucking. They would sooner think that I would be wearing some shit like a fucking V-Lone shirt or a fucking some bootleg ass Uzi Vert tee or like something of that nature versus a fucking shirt for a 2-piece like IDM / down tempo whatever trip hop fucking act that was kind of at the peak of their popularity in the 90s in Europe as well. Like, I don't know. It was, I say mundane only just because I get remarks about that kind of stuff. Still to this day, I would argue regarding the certain places I go in, but I don't know. It was mundane in nature, but it was pretty fascinating to have happen in person. It felt nice though. It's fine.
That's good. That's good. That's good. It's always nice to be able to talk to people and connect with people over your interests.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't seem, even if it's just like, even if it's in like somewhere random, like a Walmart.
Uh-huh.
So, I asked you if you had, if there just a story you want to tell. If you don't, that's okay.
Just generally?
Yeah.
Huh. Generally.
We can get back to it.
I'm thinking about it because like I have one and it's like kind of dark.
You can get dark with it as long as you understand, you know. We talked about this before.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah,
really
don't
interesting
get me banned
encounter I
about
had.
it.
And really interesting encounter I had. I think about this is kind of like a 2 different things that I think about correspondence, but 2 different stores I worked at. I had 2 customers. These are years and years apart, but they were both kind of coming to me thinking about like, and then just talking about like trying to find stuff in the store specifically related to security shit. There was an air of desperation to both of them. Years ago, it was a man. More recently-ish, relatively, it was a woman. Horrible domestic shit. Details kind of escape me, but it was fucking crazy inhumane treatment that either person was afraid of regarding their kid and the other parent. In the earlier case, it was the mom who was crazy. In the later case, it was the dad who was fucking crazy. I don't think it necessarily really hit me until I was basically talking about how I kind of delayed my lunch break at the Target I worked at to talk with that lady because there was an air of desperation to her, and I could tell she wasn't even trying to really get me to do something for her at all, to like try to scam the store or something. But I don't know. It's obvious when someone's on their fucking last ropes in their head, in a sense, because any possible attempt at communication becomes very desperate. So I kind of heard her out, and I related. And I don't remember if I gave her any resources, but it was a nice conversation. I think I just kind of learned even that day, much as I already knew prior. It's like, I think this human to human relating shit is not even really difficult, and I think it's more rewarding than it is like not like than it is like a task or a chore. I don't know. A lot of complex feelings I have regarding that and humanity generally, but
Yeah. I don't want to.
it's a net positive in the world because I helped her even a little with just talking with her about shit. I don't know where she is now or anything, and I think that might have contributed to penalty shit at work. But I mean,
Yeah.
it ain't fucking anything up that I was willing to hear out, TBH.
Yeah. I just don't want you to. I don't want you to share things that are uncomfortable or anything like that. I just want you to know. I don't want you to feel obligated.
No, you're good. I figured you're not.
Okay, cool. Okay. It's I totally see what you mean. I totally get where you're coming from. I have had experiences in the past where someone is obviously not having a good time and I need to talk to them, even if it's like inconvenient for the company I'm at right now.
It's like kind of, I mean, I've kind of realized other people do this thing where they actually throw their shit out the way and then it fucks them up later, but then they tell the other person about it. It's like, I mean, that's like, I don't know. It's like people make it an issue, and I think it's more so like I can't even tell if it's a thing where they actually really do not know what to or maybe they just don't have their shit together enough to where they get too invested. For their own good is what I'm getting at. Because I don't know. Because when it comes to that kind of stuff, I don't even really need to be reassured that I can tab out because I already know I already can. I just voluntarily don't because I have the ability to just retain that kind of stuff. The other person like, you don't have to, and I'll be like, I mean, what if I just left you here? What would that do for you? Unless you are because a lot of the time people ask that, it's not even because they necessarily need to learn, it's because it's reaffirming. This is going in a lot of different directions. Oh man. How I perceive human psychology and shit overall. I just don't see fit to. I let the other person know if I really have to like tab out or if I have to sleep or something. But from then on, I just am like, no, I did this on purpose. Don't worry. And I don't fucking wheel shit against them later and blame them for me not having discretion. Because I don't know, if someone goes through some shit and they don't even really necessarily say that I have to be there for them, but then I do it and then I blame them for it later, it's like, what the fuck? I mean, I made the fucking decision. I didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like being there for someone is being there for someone, understanding how complicated that is and how complicated other people are.
It's beyond an internet thing for me. I don't really fucking use any buzzwords when I talk to people who do it or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
Yeah.
Layers.
There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of just a lot of emotion, and human to human communication is obviously insanely complicated. There's so many layers to it.
It's intricate. Yep.
And sometimes you help someone, sometimes you feel weird about it after, sometimes they feel weird about it after, and it's like nothing. We don't need to like be awful. It's just it happened. We're chill. It's chill.
A lot of psychology to how I brain, but that's kind of for everyone ever.
Yeah. So to bring it back to a different direction, tell me a story about a musical experience that you still think about.
Does not matter how small or large it is. Thinking about it. Sorry, notes.
The notebook.
Notes.
It can be anything.
The notes. Small or large. I'm trying to think. All the big moments I had were kind of not necessarily moments where I knew. It was moments where I realized I was cracked. Oh, screw it. I talked about this album earlier by Carbine. I had heard Carbine's stuff for a while, and I was trying to replicate his sound, I think as far back as a couple of years ago? No, shit, sorry. Sometime earlier last year, which feels like a fucking while ago by now, but it's because it has been. I kind of, from last year, went from not even really understanding the style well enough to understand like the offbeat drum shit, and like getting the sound design correct to like learning spectral like audio processing stuff a lot and figuring out glitch percussion and working that stuff in, and then getting good rhythm and shit down. And the experience was finding a very niche style that I wanted to get good at, and then actually studying up a bunch, and then never settling, but also allowing myself to realize that I am progressing, and then getting good at a very specific style of music that involved me learning a drum technique that I was really bad at and getting really good at said drum technique and stuff. Like, man, I can lock in actually, and now I'm actually pretty good at that sound. So like, that's cool. I have sent Carbine a silly thing I did once, and he really liked it. So I consider that the cosign of the whatever. But even he's not like a gatekeeper for the sound of Hyperbounce or whatever. But the validation did just kind of reassure me, like, oh, I did achieve my goal. Nice. I kind of knew I did, but based on comparing the sound in my head, but that was like further affirmation at that point.
Getting cosigned is like the best thing ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially when it's someone you're like close to or someone you think is really cool. It's like,
Yup.
I've had a couple of those recently, but we go. You find yourself in orbit instead of stasis is the perfect way to put it at Archibald.
Yeah.
So I have a question that is piggybacking off of this, because you have mentioned vaporwave a lot, and I'm just curious if you have anything specifically about vaporwave that you want to share, like a story about the scene and all that.
Where do I begin? Oh god. I spent so much time in that scene that like I spent so much time in that scene when it comes to figuring out. I figured like there's a lot I learned about music scenes generally. A lot I learned about music scenes generally from my time spent on there. Lord. There's like I don't even. I'm trying to think of just one. I could go on so many fucking roads. So it's something something about vaporwave then, just generally speaking.
Just anything with the scene, anything that impacted you, anything that you still think about, just any story or any experiences at all.
Sometimes I think about how I was around for very early vaporwave Twitter, and I kind of understood at a fundamental level regarding that music scene specifically. I've kind of been learning this over and over again in many different ways, but man, fame really does corrupt. So does fucking attention, whatever the hell. The vaporwave scene felt like, because when I got into it, I should note, it wasn't when it was initially beginning. I would say as early as 2009-ish, but like definitely around 2010 is when I think it actually really started to take form. I got into it in mid to late 2014, which is still old head territory for that scene specifically, TBH.
Yeah.
When I say that, I mean Floral Shot by Macintosh Plus and Chuck Person's Echo Jams and Farside Virtual by James Ferrara, which I don't even really think counts. People cite it as an early thing anyway. And other early things were definitely released, but also still, I realized, definitely kind of new compared to now. And in the vaporwave community that currently exists did not really exist at all, and I knew that. Someone who I am no longer friends with, who kind of started a sphere of people around vaporwave shit on Tumblr, did this thing where he moved to Twitter for reasons, and he had this idea of the vaporwave community is so mysterious, so what if we made it more social, was his idea. Having a more social, just more conventional music scene approach to it. I think genius idea, much as I don't like that guy anymore, but that's a whole other story. Instead of having the albums come out and it be attributed to very mysterious artists from different parts of the world, and they just make cool sounding stuff and then dip, and then release maybe other stuff, and then also dip again. It'd be a thing where it's about the personalities and stuff. Like he did interview stuff for big artists in the scene, and that was pretty cool. Vaporwave Twitter, he literally kicked off being more personality approaching and encouraged people to come on board and make jokes and stuff with him. And it used to be like, man, I don't know. But also, like, I don't know. As the scene got bigger, I'd say early Vaporwave Twitter was kind of incredible because it was kind of really just like a sort of smallish sort of. It was a pretty fucking small scene for I realized considering how gigantic it is now and how like George Clanton has a whole music festival thing where he gets hella people from like to perform from all across the country, the world. I think even in some regards, but
Forgot he had that. I didn't know he saw that going on.
100% Electronica is a big deal, and I think it's the biggest vaporwave label right now. They have all types of cosigns, but that's a whole other story. But when I say like I learned intimately how that stuff works, it was very weird because the guy that I used to be friends with was always kind of I think a jerk, but that like fame shit really brings out the worst in I think anyone who is not strong-willed enough to realize where it does corrupt. Because a lot of people that I used to hang out with, I don't anymore, and a lot of people I used to kick it with, whether it be on different platforms, wherever, here, or other places, I just don't really either. And it's a lot of reasons as to why I don't really pan anyone as an outright horrible person, I guess, unless I have to. But I'm not naming names. I don't want to name names.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all avoidable shit. It's them not locking in with their problems and just turning to music about it, and then suffering and paying the price later, and then not ever. Yeah, it's God. I don't even know where to be. I have a lot of bad experiences in that community, but a lot of good ones too. So I don't know.
I hear a lot of people share similar sentiment with the community about I have heard a lot of sentiment with people in the vaporwave community specifically where they have very good experiences with the certain crowd, and then like other crowd popped off and became a bit of a menace, or something, or like they got it to their head and started acting a certain way, most foul. Which I don't want to blame specifically that community, because I'm sure that happens everywhere. It's just a trend, and I remember seeing a lot of the vaporwave stuff popping off as it was happening. I didn't see it from the Twitter perspective. I saw it from the Tumblr perspective. So it's very cool to hear you talk about it from the other point of view, because I'm pretty sure I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's kind of funny because you say that. That's kind of how I got started with the community. That's kind of where it rooted from.
Yeah.
Was Tumblr, because
I don't even see that on Tumblr
had
ever.
a community around him. All of us, all the heads in Vaporwave Twitter, literally orbited around him directly. And if I listed people in a thing in DMs and you talk to them about it, they would be like, "Oh yeah, that was like." It's kind of funny. Because everyone I questioned who I'm thinking about here, who was an old school Vaporwave Twitter head, I guess it's not really messing with if I name names necessarily here because it's in a positive light. My friend Saturn Ultra comes from there. My friend Buchanan also does, definitely. Saturn Ultra does hella rap shit, from what I recall. I don't know if necessarily as an ongoing thing, but that was where they got their footing. My friend Ava, well, hold on. I think like she does shit as AOL. I have people I know who like got around. Okay, my friend Ava Stedman, who be doing shit on SoundCloud as well when it comes to the rap shit. Also from there, my friend Buchanan, who I talked about earlier, she's really cool. I like shit she does with Architect Border, however you say it. I don't actually fucking know how you say it. Really cool artist collective. They do a lot of really, really cool sounding art. They do like cool looking art shit, not cool sounding art shit. My bad. Then there's also me. So there's that. Quite a few of us who actually. I should note when I say that, I mean like it's people. Me and Boo and Saturn Ultra and me and Boo and Saturn Ultra and Ava Stedman, and I think other people additionally who started off around that orbit, and like we all kind of started doing our own things after the old school Twitter kind of ceased and the new school people, whoever the fuck came in. I wouldn't say necessarily we're all hashtag successful and careerful and shit, but we get around a lot. It's very, very interesting. A lot of overlap too. That kind of surprised me a little bit.
It's really cool. I'm a big fan of seeing communities of like specific circles just kind of popping off and seeing them with each other all the time and just saying like, oh, this name is familiar and this name's familiar. Oh, cool. So I'm going to continue on with the question before we get into the viewer. I have one more question before we go into the viewer question. Is that if yeah, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell me a story about a person you still think about.
I still think about. Huh. I don't have to name names, do I?
Oh no, don't name names if you don't name names. That's probably better if you don't.
That's okay. Sorry, is this like the big question that I said I was excited to answer? Or is this like a different one?
You can it can be the question. You can answer that question. We can answer that question whenever you want. You can name names as long as you don't get me in
Okay.
Twitter beef.
Person who I still think about. Someone who ran. I'll be very vague because I won't even match the fucking chance. She was someone from the vaporwave community. I thought about this because I thought about how dynamics work regarding social shit and me and other different things and whatnot. I felt really weird about it felt like a back and forth. I realized it was her coming around to me really well, and then us bonding really well, like Twitter DMs. And then I didn't get crashed out at, but it was a very gradual decline in intimacy in a very platonic sense to a point where like I just don't want to speak to her about her anymore. And it made me think like just about how it made me think about a lot because stuff I found out about her I realized was messed up at the time, but even especially right now I realize actually was. I won't say who it is or even the thing that I know her for that I think a lot of people I know who are in the internet music also know. So I definitely need to keep hush hush. I will say at most she has industry connects. That's it. I think about that a lot. I think about how she was talking to me initially in Twitter DMs, and I was on my iPhone in my like bed in my childhood house, home, whatever the fuck I'm like calling it home. Talking to me about shit regarding rough upbringing stuff and us relating, and me realizing that this is the most socially relevant person I will ever talk to at the time. At the time. And then that culminated into me being weirdly vague and also having weird behavior shit, and then me hearing weird shit secondhand, and then it was a wrap. It was a wrap. This was when I was still a kid. I don't know. Yeah, it was tough. Vaporwave shit was kind of tough, but I realized a lot of that really is just residually like problems that should have not went unchecked as when people were problems that should have not went unchecked when people were kids going out of control. And then, I don't know, that's a pretty fucking common thread amongst a lot of stuff. So whatever.
Yeah. Talking to children on the computer and children talking on the computer to each other or to non-children on the computer, it's such a strange dynamic, like no matter what.
It's scary. I think
It's very scary.
I mean, people talk about unrestricted internet access. I mean, I think having unrestricted internet access is not even really crazy. It wasn't crazy even when I was a kid because I just knew what to not fucking do and what to fucking do.
Yeah.
Shit only started to get real when I was going into things that I kind of knew I had no business doing. Even then, because of what I was taught regarding internet etiquette. But then I did it anyway because I didn't have the right guidance. And then I paid the price for a lot of shit later because of course I did. And then I realized, oh, well, that was avoidable. But kids do shit all the time. And I also went on to later hear about people I know who are my age doing way worse shit on the internet. I don't mean way worse as in morally reprehensible. I mean way worse as in they got in situations.
Yeah.
Worse.
Well,
I don't know, shit's scary and tough. You got to be careful out here. That is never going to change.
yeah, that's just kind of the nature of like online ever since, because we are of a generation. We are of a generation
Yeah.
that grew up at internet all the time forever instead of just like on computer. Instead of as the people in the 90s say, there was a family computer where we play Meet and Fuck Kingdom. Now Meet and Fuck Kingdom on our phone all the time. So we kind of got there in a way. We kind of got there in a way where a lot of the things we knew not to do were because our parents told us not to do that, but also realizing that our parents are a little out of touch with it, so we just kind of do a bit more. And sometimes then children tend to do things that they know aren't good because what the fuck, like a child isn't the most logical creature on the planet. It's and people have complex emotion. They're like, oh, this situation like calls for it, or the situation's like fine, is whatever. It's like you can't fully understand, and you can't really do that. And with the social dynamics with adults there and other children there, and the whole thing with communication over the internet, it becomes a situation that a lot of people suffer the consequences of being in a situation.
Yeah.
And you
Friends
can't.
never put friends in a situation.
A lot of the times, you can't really blame someone for being a child. Like I'm pretty sure most 99% of the time you can't blame someone for being a child because like
Yeah, I just
like,
kind of wouldn't. I just kind of literally just wouldn't.
yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
we go to our next segment. Which is the viewer question.
Should I scroll or do you have them listed?
I have them listed. Will read them out to you. I forgot to do one thing. Hold on.
Okay.
Whoopsie. I'm silly.
You're silly.
Okay. Get your ass in there. What is happening?
Your ass to Mars. Your ass to Mars.
All right. You can see it here. Oh well. Okay. Viewer question segment. Since they fucked it up at the beginning, I'm gonna have to read them to you. I believe an ad break is incoming, but I'm not sure.
It's important to get confirmation with this.
Hold on, let me check. Are the ads coming? Are the ads coming? The ads are coming in 1 minute. Okay, that's good to know. So, we're gonna put off the viewer questions for 3 minutes for the ad break. So I'm gonna run the ads right now. If you're subscribed, thank you for subscribing. If you're not subscribed, I'm crying so much. I'm crying forever.
One of my friends said boobscribe once, and I was like, you can't be saying that.
I'm gonna start saying boobscribe. No, you don't have to subscribe. I'm not e-begging for subscriptions. Don't worry. I'm being facetious and silly with it.
That's what someone who's e-begging would say before. I don't know why I say it like that.
So yeah. So yeah. Ad break. We will talk about we're farming hot takes. We are farming hot takes.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, let's fucking go.
Okay. So this one doesn't get people mad, but it gets people riled the fuck up. Never mad. It's specific to a specific community, but also if you're a music enthusiast, you probably have heard of these guys right now. If I had an actual hot take, I would phrase it like, hot take, Music Has the Rights of Children is Boards of Canada's least good album.
What?
People would get so fucking fired up if I said that. No, people would get actually fired the fuck up if I said that is the funny part for me.
Oh, of course. People get fired up at everything.
Actual opinion that is underneath the hot take, guys, is I like it the least. That doesn't mean it's not good. That doesn't mean I don't like it. I just like it the least. People get fired up when I say I like it the least. I'm like, did I say it was bad? And they go, no. I'm like, yeah, you're assuming shit based on what I did. Like, it's like in between mind reading to a fucking crazy extent because people just do that a lot. And I get why, but I also don't get why. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not like that.
People would just get
If
like
someone
that.
says a fucking thing to me, that's what they say. If I read in between the lines, I actually don't ever really like doing it. But this is me getting an autism shit at that point. It just feels foreign to me to do this, so I just don't actually like doing it, generally speaking. But no, I say this as if Music Has the Rights to Children does not have, as if Music Has the Rights to Children does not have, literally like, I mean, Wildlife Analysis is one of my favorite ambient tracks ever. And one very important thought is a very, very nice closer. And there's another song there I like. I forget the actual name. It's like of the albums, it has my least favorite cuts on it, but I'm like, I see what they were trying to do. Gio Gotti is their best, in my opinion. But this is all my opinion anyway. The same people who get fired up by Music Has the Rights to Children also tend to think Tomorrow's Harvest is too scary. That's my other favorite by them, so hands up. But also, I don't know. I like all their big 4 albums. I don't know. People kind of get competitive about it. It's like there is literally something to like with all of these. I'm not even like saying that to be facetious or like whatever the heck. There's literally something good in every single one of them, whether like one way or another. Campfire Head Phase and Gio Gotti, I think, are my faves. Tomorrow's Harvest, I have bias to, but I think I like Campfire Head Phase and Gio Gotti more. Music Has the Rights to Children is just kind of there in my head. I was like, all right, it was necessary. It's not bad. I just don't prefer it. I don't know. Gotta clarify shit a lot with people who like to assume stuff a lot, but it's whatever. I have any more hot takes in my head. I don't think Simp Eternal is Bring Me the Horizon's best album. I think I have bias for That's the Spirit, but that's like different. I don't know. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
I have all my hot takes aren't even really just hot takes; they're just unpopular opinions that I happen to have. Like if I don't think I like Korn that much. Not the vegetable. I love the vegetable. I mean the band. I don't think I like the band that much. A lot of people like System of a Down. I'm like, that too. I mean, if you're getting into like radio shit, that's a whole other thing entirely. But these are all just opinions that I have. I don't want to guise them as hot takes, because if I did that, then I would be turning myself into the hot take queen.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that at all, because that's kind of me just taking my actual just core self and turning it into like a bit, and that would drive me fucking crazy. I really don't need that for myself ever.
People are more than the takes they have. Do not live for the takes. Be the takes. Be the person with the takes. Okay. Ad break over. Welcome back, everybody. Hello, everybody. No more hot takes ever. Now we get into the question segment. We're in a new scene. You're looking at there's a new version of you on the computer. Hello. Give me 1 second, because I forgot I need to pull up the fucking question. Okay. Starting here. Okay. So, before the visual, there's not going to be a visual for the first couple of questions. Apologies, everybody. If you have a question to ask, use the question redeem. It'll come up after. It'll come up in queue. I will have the questions be read out, and then it'll go. But bop. Anyway, are you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right. So, question number 1: what is the bane of your music production existence? Asked by Kinski.
Do you want the layered? Do you want a layered answer? That's also that. Oh no. Do you want a layered answer that's kind of a deep thing, or do you want an easy answer that is also a deep thing?
Whichever you prefer giving.
I'll go for the other one then. Ban on music production existence. Unison Audio. Well, no, okay, not actually Unison Audio, but also Unison Audio. I would say I would name drop a guy specifically who actually is, but that's name dropping a guy, and he's on YouTube. But I don't want to get his. I don't want to get that attention on you. He's not a threat. He's just funny. But anyway.
Not a threat.
Yeah. Unison Audio is Unison Audio. I don't really have a fondness for, and maybe I should. I'm trying to think about if I should even name drop them like that. Fuck.
Whatever. It's done. You can tell me. You can tell me anything.
Like they might get fussy on the VOD. It's just I have an issue with how they make plugins. Actually, no. Hold on. Not a problem with Unison Audio specifically. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Shit like people who make. I've seen this as a type of plugin before that I have heard of. People who make plugins for people who don't know how to like write shit or produce shit really, and tailoring it for people like that, and then charging a lot for it. It's predatory as fuck. I can only think of the example company I named earlier, which I guess I won't fucking name again. You know by now. Who released shit like plugins for effects that they have. That just do basic effects change shit that you can just automate yourself in Ableton or FL Studio or something. Or I'm thinking of a Rompler that I found once that was by a guy who kind of makes tutorials, so I won't fucking name, which has 2 lead presets, and hear me when I say this, 2 lead presets that sound the exact fucking same with different names. By nature of it being a Rompler, you can't program patches like you can with other synths, so you're just stuck with like not even a lot of presets, and the chart costs a fucking lot. My favorite one of the bunch, I also won't name, is an FX treating plugin of some sort by a guy I won't name, which does very basic effects shit. But they charge money for this plugin that kind of does stuff that you can just do. Like, you see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
That shit I don't like. I don't like predatory practices when it comes to that kind of stuff. That's more intricate shit. Like, I would name examples, but I'd rather do it in like DMs or private conversations generally.
I see.
The more easy answer that everyone can probably agree with simultaneously in the crowd, collective, oh yeah. People talk about size, AI a lot in the context of how that shit can generate drawings and pictures of real people and movies, videos, movie scenes, shit of that nature. Every right to get upset about that. I'm not saying they shouldn't. I'm saying people do pay an eye to how that translates to music shit, but not enough of an eye to that. A friend of mine, I think, posted a video of them typing in a prompt that described a song that would be not at all out of place, released by the sort of collective Drain Gang that I have known about and kept up with for a while. They released shit on Year One, really cool label. Someone tapping in a prompt that sounded like something like that, and they even said it had vocals that just sounded just like vocals, but the vocals sounded so much like Blade that I got like scared. I think they were actually saying legible words too. It was very fucking scary to hear. I think music production AI shit is different. I think the most that kind of converges into that is people getting mad about AI vocal covers of songs, which please stay getting mad about that. I don't like hearing shit like that really ever, even as a meme. It feels fucking weird. I guess the actual other bane of my existence is also that. Both of these relate to predatory shit, but I don't know. If someone's to a point where they're starting to type shit into a box instead of fucking wanting to get their hands on a DAW, they're probably smart enough to know how to get their hands on a DAW. So, like, the people who are really pushing AI right now are the tech bros. It's not the average fucking Joe, whatever the hell. Average internet goers are probably more unsettled by AI than really advocating of it, you know? But not the average person knows about weird shit like the fucking plugins I won't name. But yeah, that's a big answer.
I have an AI question just because I'm curious.
Okay.
What do you think of AI, like the implement? I don't know if it's okay. It's a very specific question.
I have a lot to say about this, but I can keep
the AI
concise.
implement, the current trend, the current Vocaloid thing, or Vocaloid likes of just having AI a part of the thing. So when you're tuning your voice, it sounds less of a nightmare.
I don't think I fundamentally have a problem with AI as it stands. I think I have a problem with how that shit's utilized. I think I believe in the idea of using AI as a fucking tool and not the whole fucking thing. When I think about having AI shit to help me with music production, I think about having AI shit help me with writing a chord progression of some sort. I take the MIDI and I drag it into my project file and I start fucking freaking it. I go going crazy. When I think AI with music production that I don't like, I think typing the song I want in the box and getting the song. I don't like that.
Okay.
If I talk to someone who drew pictures as their big fucking hobby, no matter what part of the internet they're from, I think if I talk with them, like, would you feel better if AI shit was maybe... So you're having issues with the character design, you have a world build, and a webcomic you're trying to start, or maybe it's an animation project it's just for your fucking college thing. Let's say you're stuck on a character design thing. Let's say you fucking have a robot thing literally dredge, like fucking, not dredge, wrong word usage, whoops. Dribble up a fucking idea, sketch one up, not necessarily directly with a picture thing, but describe shit to you at least, if nothing else, and then you just go from there. Or maybe even have like a ref sheet tool of some sort to like create a rudimentary character design or just something like that. They would probably like it more if it was implemented, if shit was implemented like that was something they could just work with as a tool versus people like that getting cold ass fucking feet, not for any bad reason, at the idea of someone being able to fucking type in some shit into a box and then fuck them over from there. Probably like career? Like, man. I can't think about how, I can't even like imagine the amount of fucking people down to a number about like who are fussy about the idea of AI shit, quote unquote, taking their jobs. It's not something to really be unreasonable with trying to fear or be scared of. That's something like that's a very real thing that I don't know it's gonna actually play out like people think, but the threat's there, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think the implementation is just dog shit, and I think it speaks to how people who are in charge of helming this shit actually view art, but that's not really a new argument there. People who obviously push this shit forward with the OpenAI stuff really just kind of see this shit as content and not art, really. I don't know.
Yeah. It's for
That's
the
kind of how I
investors,
feel
not for
about
the
a lot of
people.
this shit overall. There's use cases for it that I think would actually be nice. Like, I see people who, like, I know who draw shit who hate AI shit talk about, like, man, I wish, like, some implementation of it, like, I mean, like, AI shit, like AI tools and drawing software where it helps them like color in the fucking character design or some shit like that. Maybe some shit that helps them fucking trace over a sketch thing that they have instead of them fucking with like line art hella and being really upset about that kind of stuff. Shit of that nature. Like, what about AI shit for that? Even what I was talking about. What about AI shit for help me like fucking write a cool melody over a song that I'm midway through? That would be awesome. I would actually really enjoy that. I don't even know if I would necessarily use it, but like knowing such a tool exists, that's cool. I don't know. Algorithmically generated shit has kind of existed for such a fucking while that AI shit being seen like this is even fucking weird to me. But I get it. I can't fight it. I don't know. I can't even pretend like that shit doesn't affect me one way or another. Like even if it doesn't necessarily, even if music shit is just specific with me in a certain way, I do want to end up doing shit for projects. You know how upset I'd be if like some big ass company going to contract me for some shit. I'm gearing up to send them a fucking demo thing. They hit me up not too long after, letting me know they trained some fucking AI bullshit on my discography and made some shit that sounded like what I did. And I listened to it, and it actually kind of does. Like, I mean, even if I wouldn't be broke, that's like one less bag for me to secure, bro. That's not cool. I don't know.
Afterward. At Archibald in chat sent a very good example of it being useful. This is something I've also been looking at myself, and I'm
Coloring
surprised it
one
actually came
frame
out.
colors all. That is honestly cool. Yeah, I don't think it takes a crazy big brain to realize that I'm objectively correct about AI actually like being utilized as a tool being like potentially really fucking cool
Yeah.
and amazing for the field of technology. And the people in big tech kind of also see the potential for AI, but what they do is instead of trying to see it as a tool to complement people who do all types of creative shit, or maybe other things like database management, or like maybe site translation or some shit, they do stuff like push out really rudimentary AI models on big use cases to try to get it more familiar, but like...
Or the swamp.
Here's a good example before I go on about this for an additional 5,000 hours. I need to look something up. I'm gonna look up like a fucking mental illness thing, actually. Hold on. I'll look up bipolar disorder, for instance. That's one that I hear about often. So you've heard this by now. On Google, if you type shit, AI overview, first thing on the fucking webpage. People I know talk about it. They're like, I don't want this shit in my face. I don't want it plastered. I think this is gonna happen. It sucks. The shit that got me upset is when I scrolled down and I saw generative AI is experimental. I need to tell everyone in the stream that I had to hit a button to find this out. I had to hit show more and scroll down to find out that it's experimental. There's no way that they just lollygag. They know what the fuck they're doing. I fucking hate it. This new thing is experimental. Let's put it in your face and make it hard to immediately tell that it's experimental. So someone who doesn't know much about large language model bullshit and AI stuff, literally from the literal get-go, I have been seeing this shit since 17. I've seen this shit since the very beginning. Let me tell you something. Seeing that and then... God. I don't know. Big tech is also not moral, but if it took you till me saying that to point that out, then I don't know what to tell you.
Bigger problem elsewhere. So moving on to the next question.
No, yeah, genuinely.
Moving on to the next question.
What?
From Archibald. Yeah. What is it about the internet that you think allows spontaneous creation of genres from vaporwave to hit 'em, hit 'em? Hold on. There's an example right here.
Hit 'em, right? The 5/4 shit with the dubstep stuff and the crazy Hit 'em is Hit 'em is really interesting to see. Allows a spontaneous creation of genres. Archibald, if you are listening right now, it's about accessibility. That's the thing. I think it's a hit or miss thing overall. Depends on how the idea sounds, especially depends on how it comes forward. I think the Hit 'em idea genuinely did come from a dream. I think genuinely, like people have been kind of like, are you sure about this? 'Cause people just say shit happened in a dream sometimes for reviews. I think that shit probably actually did come from a dream because it's so fucking specific and weird to like imagine, but it does sound pretty interesting. I don't know how the fuck I would dance to it though. But it's accessibility because this factors in here. I've heard about this thing called Tomska's Law on Twitter. God. Tomska's Law states, basically, it applies to Twitter. It applies to the YouTuber Tomska because people would talk about him on Twitter and he would just find it and reply. People would be like, oh my fucking God, wow. The gist of Tomska's Law is you never know who's looking. You make a fucking silly Twitter idea about this genre, like how this person did hit him, and you get hella producers just making this shit and trying it out. That kind of tracks. That's kind of how it's always been with the internet, generally speaking. Overall, that's not a new thing. It just translates differently with how genre shit kind of became a thing to really articulate and go in all types of conversational lengths about. This has been a thing for a fucking while. As far back as when I was a kid on YouTube and early YouTube, people were doing shit like taking Windows error sounds and turning them into fucking dance music songs. People just wanted to do shit. They just started doing shit. So internet genre shit taking off kind of really makes sense. If the idea is cool and you run it by enough producer people who just like doing music, even as like whether it be as a professional thing or just as a hobby thing, they're gonna probably dick around with it. And enough people are gonna dick around with it to where a scene forms. Let's say enough people also generally get around to it from different backgrounds, you're gonna get some pretty fucking sick music out of it, one way or another. TBH. Like I've seen Photoshop and Macintosh Plus, circling back to Vaporwave, is kind of, I think, literally a side project in the grand scheme when it comes to how I found out about that shit. But her solo work as Vectroid, I've seen people who aren't even really familiar with Vaporwave like that gas up that shit in the comment section or whatever the heck else. Or one way or another, they kind of find out, even from hearing her Vaporwave shit, that her actual solo, like original work is really, really, really well done. So yeah, many such cases. It's amazing to you how viral it's gone. It's the internet. It's the internet.
When everyone
people do all types of crazy shit.
Whenever
I say friend Lucy, maybe Oomph. I just haven't spoken with him in a while. I have very fond feelings for him, or very positive feelings for stuff that he'd be doing. Artisan made this one. He goes by Artisan. His at is like, I forget his at. He was kind of a music producer guy, and I also kind of knew him for being a fellow black musician. I was like, wow, nice. And then he was on TikTok one day, and he was like, I turned this Windows shit into a fucking big video game ass orchestral thing, and he got so fucking viral that like he got like thousands of followers on SoundCloud and hella on TikTok, and he does music production shit generally. Like, I don't know. I think like people talk about drawing on the internet as if it is the hobby to get into. I think it's that, or it genuinely is music production shit. It's one of those two things, because I think music is probably the more accessible hobby to get. Well, no, I think drawing is accessible as fuck. And I think that people be watching cartoons, but like think about it like this: most people alive like and listen to music. Or if you met someone who truly fucking hated like music, I mean the medium overall, that's like not fucking normal. That's very, very unique, I think, in terms of how sociology shit works. Versus the drawing shit, a lot of people do like stuff like that, but a lot of people grow out of shit like cartoons or comic books or even anime, depending on a lot of different things. But all those things have big audiences. But still, it kind of pales in comparison to shit regarding music. But both are very fucking big industries. Anything related to drawing or painting, but also music shit generally. They have also both been around for ages anyway. It's a top 3 hobby. Archbible is agreeing with me. Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Yeah.
From Quasi. What's an artist you want to boss up with?
Hi, Quasi. Artist I want to boss up with. Realistic answer? Wait. I'm thinking. Hold on. I think of people who actually align with me. Realistic answer? New Foray. That's also kind of going to happen within enough time, and it also kind of is happening. LOL. Shout out Hypertrance, by the way. That's gang-a-lang. I'm with those dudes. I'm an affiliate. Pipe Dream answer? I don't know. More Kismet? Porter Robinson? One of those two. Probably both of them. Fuck it. Maybe Porter Robinson, actually. Why fucking not?
Porter Robinson.
I think he's a poster child of EDM at this point.
Porter Robinson's also just like on Twitch now.
Huh?
Porter Robinson, I think it's just on Twitch now. I've like I forgot if it's Twitch or on YouTube. I know he streams. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, he's kind of all over the place. The pipe dreamist of the answer, the actual biggest answer to that question that I think would fix me, and I think actually might be my proper answer, is Flying Lotus. I've heard him do dance shit, and I've heard him do hip hop shit, and I've heard him do jazz shit, and he does all that shit well, and I like all these things a lot. And we also I think have big mutual interest in anime and Black American culture shit generally. I think a friendship between me and him would actually, even if not related to music shit, be really cool and interesting for my noggin. So yeah, here we go.
Next question is for me. It's a test.
Undefined.
Okay, it's undefined. This is the technology portion of it.
Undefined.
Don't be undefined. Okay, we're good. Okay, next question. Hold on. I can share my shit so you can hear the TTS voice at the same time. Where the fuck? There it is. Tell me if you can hear. Tell me if you can hear the hello from web.
Hello from web.
Hello from web.
All right.
Hold on. Wait.
On Discord.
Play it again.
Okay.
Hello from web.
Yep, you're good.
All right. Next question.
Hello from web.
Is the Twitch DJ program a more compelling reason to stream on Twitch than compared to other streaming platforms such as Spotify, Tidal, otherwise?
Twitch Twitch DJ Pro. Okay, so let me explain the couple things. Streaming service shit for music. Like it says, I said bitch in the subtitle. That's so funny. Streaming service shit for music, like with Spotify and like with Tidal and like with I don't know Deezer, Apple Music, Amazon, whatever the fuck. That's different. That's like on-demand shit. You just hit a button and you play a thing. Twitch DJ shit is a performance. It's like a fun thing, but it's also a performance. You are not going on Spotify to hear watch live streams of performers. DJ shit is literally if you are live at an event and a DJ is performing, even if they are playing shit you have heard before, it's about how they fucking mix shit together. You put two DJs in the same fucking room and you put like even two songs that they both like in both of their sets, they're gonna mix that shit they're gonna mix that shit different. And it's gonna sound different much as it's gonna be the same song. I don't know how else to put it. I have been to Disney reruns. On Spotify? Like there's like a DJ shit on there? I have never heard of that.
The AI
before.
DJ. That's the only one I'm a.
That's like different.
Yeah.
That's like playlist shit pretty much.
I think
There's DJ like wedding DJ and there's DJ like you are getting on the fucking floor and hardstyle kicking in some techno shit DJ.
I mean you
Two
can do that at the
different
wedding. Well, hold on. I think
That's kind of what TBH. If I ever do get like wedding shit, I kind of want to literally like even beyond have that kind of shit. I want to get on the deck. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it.
Getting wed at the boiler room.
Everyone's gonna fucking learn how to hardstyle kick that night. God. My wedding, bitch. Sorry.
All right. Next question.
I think that's really crazy. Okay, yeah.
Some people have called synesthesia a superpower for creating music. Are there any other cheat codes a musician can have?
Synesthesia, 1. 2, I realized I fucked up your answer earlier. I think Twitch having DJ shit is cool. I think it would be cool if they had like a dedicated program to because honestly, I've done URL show shit before. And that kind of is literally just people just playing pre-recorded DJ sets that they either arrange in it like their DAWs, or they arrange that shit in their DAW, or they mix it in an actual like DJ program, or they do that shit with the decks in real life. Like I have seen that shit before. It is honestly like a whole fucking thing. It's really, really cool. Chris doing that shit with a program would be really cool, but that's a different wheelhouse to Spotify shit. But that is a total outlet that I think sounds really fucking nice, potentially as a thing. I don't know. I still recommend going out to see bitches perform, but that's whole ass tangent. On to the actual next question. Synesthesia is kind of just, I think it ties to, I don't know if necessarily it is a thing that could necessarily help you produce, but if tapping into it and then hearing that sort of sense in you does lead to you making good decisions regarding production shit, or maybe just shit regarding the mixing and mastering process or creative decisions overall, just go with the flow. Production cheat codes that I have. I don't even necessarily know here because there's no way to like speedrun with like a lot of things overall. Most I can say is sampling is fun to do, but overall it depends on how you interpret that type of shit. That you can really make a lot work from a pre-existing song, or like some shit from a video game you heard, or whatever the fuck you are sampling. But also, I think a cheat code in a sense is in my head in a way is to all the stuff that I think of that I'm thinking of right now is kind of just related to tools, because I'll put it like this: if you produce some shit and the person really is actually cool about stuff overall, the person is actually like really cool about stuff overall, they are not gonna fucking tweak about you using some shit like, and hear me out for this one, Captain Chords or Scalar 2 as something to help you write songs or some shit like that. There are other things you can use to help you do that. Those two things come to mind. Scalar 2 is cool. I use it sometimes. Chord progression shit. Biggest part of the process that you might need help with. People don't really care a lot when it comes to shit you are doing. I think the biggest cheat code is to just kind of not give a shit about the process necessarily as it is for the end product, but still actually give a shit about the process. But like, it's about priorities, really. I don't know. Like, definitely make a note out of. Just like, it's about caring about the process, but it's about not wanting to beat the shit out of yourself, so to speak, because you do some shit that is like utilizes a tool that makes it easier for you. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to help people produce that like big industry people use. So like, whatever. If I wanted to say an actual cheat code, maybe funny real quick. 7th and 9th chords. 7th and 9th chords are your best friend. Anyway, none.
Next question. Next and final question. If anyone has any more questions, you can click the question button and ask. But if none come within the next one, there will be no. This will be the final viewer question. So next question from Lonnie Art.
Is there something you feel you missed out on doing?
Hi, Lonnie. Where do I begin? Fuck. Sometimes I wish I was born. Something I feel like I missed out on doing. Straight up. Fuck. Because all the shit that I'm doing now, is something I've always kind of wanted to do. I think I kind of wish. I'll just be broad. I picked up drawing when I was very young, and I actually was making decent progress with like trying to figure out shit like anatomy and like laying shit out and figuring out different programs to try to draw with and stuff like that. I was too broke for a graphics tablet for a while. Even that was after I kind of hashtag quote unquote quit, but I kind of literally just. Oh, the most recent question. That's a good ass question. I want to answer that one actually. I'll wait. I wish I would have locked in more with painting and drawing and shit. And the answer I always get back is you can still do things. I never disagree to that, but I feel like I'm always misunderstood. It's not that I don't think that I still can, and I have literally been doing that behind the scenes, trying to get back with painting and shit. But I guess I would get beat up sometimes just over like, man, I got good at graphic design, I got good at video editing, and also VJing. I got good at music production for damn fucking sure. If I got good at drawing and God forbid animating, I'd be like terrifying.
Unstoppable.
And I was on my way up with that shit. But I'm still young, so it's whatever.
Next question.
Texas, move or stay?
I have a funny way of answering this. If you are in Texas, try to just go for the best city and just go from there. I think best city for you, really, but just stay in the triangle. If I had to pick between move or stay, here's what I always tell people when they talk about when I talk about like living in Texas. I say, don't fucking move here. Don't fucking move here. The state government is ass. The people here are honestly fucking nice. Not necessarily even nice all the time. A lot of really conservative fuckheads are, I think, really fucked up here, more so than a lot of other states in the American South, in a very loud and proud kind of way, even beyond a post 9/11 kind of way. But no, don't move here. I wouldn't. Straight up. Especially if you're queer. Like, I don't know, Dallas Fort Worth, where I am currently stationed, has the biggest queer population in the entire American South. It is also in one of the most infamous red states in the entire country. It is also in the American South, so make of that what you will. And also, yes. even if not necessarily the absolute biggest, it's definitely the biggest in the fucking South overall. Yeah, because Texas is in the American South technically, much as Texas feels like some weird other thing.
Yeah, Texas is either like South or just Texas. It's like a California thing where people call it either Southwest or just California.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I don't know. I'm living a lot. Like Houston feels like the South for damn sure, but also it doesn't at all simultaneously. It's weird, but it also definitely is. Same for Dallas Fort Worth. I think less so than Houston in some ways. Austin does not feel like a Texas city almost at all. Big queer community, and DFW is one of the better parts when I lived there. Yup. Yeah. It didn't hit me that even I was seeing it until I talked every fucking time I meet a gay person in Texas, queer, transgender, whatever the fuck they identify as, anywhere across the pond, the board, whatever the fuck you call it, and they say they're from Texas, there is like a genuine 75% chance they're just from Dallas. even if not explicitly from by Dallas. Maybe by Fort Worth, maybe they are somewhere by Denton, maybe they're somewhere in between, because DFW is a giant fucking cornucopia of towns with like 2 big anchor points. That's kind of how it is. Like, you know, if like when I say this, I mean like I'll be like Texas, and I'm like yeah, and I'll be like where? And I'll be like, oh, I mean like Euless, and I'm like, oh, that's DFW. They'll be like Denton, that's DFW. They'll be like, I live in Arlington, that's definitely DFW. They'll be like, I live in Mesquite, that's also DFW. You see what I fucking mean? A lot of different towns up here. Generally, it's really interesting. I don't know.
Texas moment.
Yeah, DFW is fucking weird. I think because like even Houston is a metropolitan area, but it's kind of like a big thing with smaller things surrounding it. DFW does not even really feel like. I mean, Dallas is technically the center point, but like, there's so much shit everywhere. Anomalous ass town.
What about El Paso?
El Paso's outside the triangle, but El Paso's cool.
I don't know anything about.
I'm talking about within the Texas Triangle.
Oh.
Texas Triangle denotes the 4 big major Texas cities that are all in the green side, not the fucking desert side. People kind of stereotype Texas as a desert, which makes me laugh because all of the major cities are not in the desert area. I'd be watching Psyche K with my boyfriend, or I'd be watching some like cartoon from like my kid years talk about Texas, and then they would display like some desert wild west shit, and I'm like, what? Huh? But I get that, but like, huh? I don't know. It's funny because Texas is kind of known for that. Texas is also, I think, top level known for like the whole Johnson Space Center shit in Houston. You know, that's why they say Houston that we have a problem, because the Johnson Space Center. That's really why they say that. Slightly deeper level, Beyonce and Travis Scott came from Houston. A lot of celebrities came from Dallas Fort Worth. Jem Parsons, who played that Bazinga motherfucker in The Big Bang Theory, also came from Houston. A lot of shit came from Austin. Austin got South by Southwest and Austin City Limits. Really want to get deep in there. Houston's place in the rap scene back in the day, crazy.
I'm being called out.
Hold on. Astroworld did not know Astroworld was a real place and thought Travis Scott made it up. Six Flags Astroworld was a real theme park. It very much was. My mom has talked to me before about going there as a kid. Straight up, she told me about that. Like, actually did. Said it was kind of the hypest shit ever, even if not directly. Here's a funny thing: the fact that you didn't know that, I'm not even really gonna clown on you for it, because that's a very specific, like, local thing in Houston.
I'm from California. It's not my fault.
You are also far from the fucking state of Texas, so of course you don't know about intricate cultural shit. They also bulldozed the fucking park. Like, it's gone.
Have they been gone in the 80s?
Ain't shit there. Yeah, they got the fuck rid of that a long time ago. That'd be like if, I mean, I don't know. That's like really intricate shit. I don't know. That's like if you didn't know what to me, that's like if you didn't know what the fucking Astrodome was. Like, do you even know what the Astrodome is?
I'm assuming that's where the Astros play.
Okay, so I mean, no, but also, yeah, it was the home to the Astros way back before I was even back in the fucking 60s. Christ, until 1999, the Oilers were also there. The Astrodome is notable because it is the literal world's first multi-purpose dome sports stadium, period, ever.
I see.
It first of its fucking kind ever built. Built in the year let me see. It was built from They broke ground in 1962 and was opened in 1965. Yeah. It's been closed since 2008, but it still just stays there because the entire city would get very upset if it ever got demolished. They also don't want to demolish it anyway because it's kind of a
Historic
wonder in a sense. It's a historical it's a piece of history one way or another. This is very fucking interesting. The one thing the two things people don't talk about, just is a little small brief tangent, that came from Houston that are big as fuck and widespread and phenomenonful, one way or another, might blow a lot of you guys' heads, minds. Might blow a lot of you guys' minds. I think I know more people who are not from Texas versus a lot of people I know are from Texas. A lot of them I know are familiar with hip-hop shit. Chopped and Screwed, the genre, which people kind of see as a big predate thing for Vaporwave, but also definitely this float and reverb shit that's big on TikTok, I don't think it's related to, but I think Chopped and Screwed was doing slowed down music that sounds cool way first. Vaporwave I kind of about a lot, and slowed edits make me just kind of roll my eyes, but Chopped and Screwed shit was different. Yeah, it's from Houston. Straight up. Run up DJ Screw's discography, look up the fucking Screwed Up Click, shit like that. Yeah. The bigger thing that came from Houston that people don't really attribute much to being from Houston unless you are in the know, lean. You know? The codeine and promethazine shit with the ice and the fucking foam cup with the Jolly Ranchers. Yeah. Every time you hear, if anyone listening has ever fucking heard some rapper talk about lean or scissor or purple drink or screw juice if they really want to be funny. Yeah, also from here. Screw sure did po that shit up a lot.
What about the
lean's everywhere now?
What about
that
the
shit?
VTubers who don't know what lean is?
What about the
like,
VTubers?
Lean the drug?
The whitest shit I've ever heard still is lean is a drug. I'm a black kid from the fucking suburbs, and I knew about pretty fucking hard drugs early on in my life. I wasn't around them shits, but my parents let me know. When I say that shit is different for us, I mean it's different for us. Because if you're like me and you're black and you grow up in the fucking suburbs, you find out about that horrible shit because your parents is probably scared as fuck about you going down dark paths and dark roads. Versus if you're a fucking a lot of the time, if you're like a fucking white kid and you grow up in the suburbs, you never found out about that shit at all. By the time you find out maybe someone you know might be having some opioid issue or some shit with weed, your parents probably might not even fucking tell you about it, some shit like that. Shout out Big Crit. Yeah. Damn, you like rap shit. I see you. I see you. I don't know.
All right, next question.
There's layers to it. Yeah.
All right, next question. Before the VTuber thing, lean the drug becomes the calling card.
LOL.
Also, this is gonna be the final question unless anyone has any more questions. There's a question, Redeem.
Yeah.
Let's go.
If you could make the soundtrack for a game, what kind of game would you want it to be?
What I want it to be. There's 3 different answers that I could possibly pose to this question. I'll just say all 3. Fuck it. Or maybe actually 2. No, 3. I'll just put 2 of them in the same fucking whatever. I have a pipe dream about doing some Kingdom Hearts ass bullshit that incorporates RPG elements in a traditional sense and some daytime social dynamic shit like Persona with batshit insane hack and slash shit like you see in Kingdom Hearts 2 specifically, but also Devil May Cry, stuff like that. Doing music for some shit like that would fix me. Additionally, I want to eventually maybe have some level of development into making a rhythm game that actually fucking involves tapping shit to a rhythm with the drums. I can't even begin with this, and I realize it's a recent revelation. I realize I don't like rhythm games because they will have the rhythmic shit you hit correspond to melodic shit. And I'm like, what? Because when I think rhythm, I think drums and I think percussion. I don't think like melody shit first. Like rhythm to melody is definitely extremely important. Like I said, someone who's been producing songs for like 12 fucking years now. But rhythm, that shit is defined by the drums. One way or like drum shit is extremely integral to like a lot of different types of music. A lot of different genres are differentiated just by what kind of fucking drums you use. Not just that, but the actual patterns themselves and how that shit evolves and changes. Maybe if it doesn't change at all, like with how fucking house music works. I don't know.
I think the only rhythm game I ever played that's like drum is Rhythm Doctor.
Rhythm Doctor.
Yeah.
I think of that taiko drum shit, but even that's different. I don't know. The rhythm game I want to make kind of is gonna correspond to like how I would do it would be very fucking specific, but I think it would also be a pretty interesting take. I don't know if a fresh take. I knew something was wrong when I was talking to people I know about rhythm games, and they said, "Oh, it's about memorization." I was like, "What?" I'm like hitting buttons on a screen, memorize with the no, what the fuck? I don't know. It's weird.
I know exactly what you mean. This is the problem I have too, and I play them all the time. No.
Like people, I see people do it like shit like Osu charts, or I see like one of my partners play like DDR in real life. I'm like, that looks cool. And then someone asks me, "You really into music? Do you like rhythm games?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, I don't know. It's funny because I like doing shit that has crazy drum rhythms and shit, but I don't know. It's different for me. I want to like do shit a certain way, but yeah. So big answer. Crazy action RPG, JRPG, whatever the fuck, hybrid. I need to do some shit for that at least once in my fucking life. Oh my god, because Kingdom Hearts' music kind of Yoko Shimomura is a big inspiration to me in a lot of indirect ways. I also want to do some dancey shit for a video game thing, yeah. If not even necessarily for like an action RPG thing I do shit for, I also want to do shit for just an action game, straight up. Some Metal Gear Rising type shit. I think I would go fucking batshit insane with music shit for that. I like doing a lot of hype-ass bullshit. I think I also want to do stuff for like a horror game maybe someday too. I don't know. I'm thinking about stuff. But my actual ideal thing that I want to do, my actual ideal thing that I want to do music for, what kind of game do I want it to be? It would just kind of, I'd be making another Kingdom Hearts type thing. It would just be different. The narrative would take itself, I think, seriously, but it also would not be super, I don't know. I have a specific idea in my head about this that I need to bring to fruition some way, somehow, whenever I get a bunch of money for some, I don't know. You get the idea, though.
Yeah.
Amazing question, though. I like that question a lot. Yay.
This was the last viewer question, and I think I will close the questions now because I think we should probably end because I know you have something to do.
Huh?
I don't know. We planned to have this be like a shorter thing, but we've been going on for a bit.
Nah, my roommate already left for the raid a while ago. It's chill.
Okay, just making sure. If anyone has any more questions, be sure. If you can't, I'll turn it back on in case anyone wants to ask any questions. But until then, I'm going to move on to the ending portion because this was actually also the ending portion. So let's go back to here. The theme. Oh wait, actually this is the ending portion. Wait, hold on. Okay, so final question incoming. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out?
Anyone I would like to shout out? Give me a second. Oh, hold on 1 second. I'm trying to think. Okay. Let me think. There's a guy on SoundCloud who I am friendly with named Kane. Kaynn. That guy's pretty fucking cool with the songs. TBH. I like their bouncy shit. I like the beats they be doing a lot. Someone else I like named Zuya. Zuya. So you spell it's like spaced out. They're also pretty cool. They're also on SoundCloud. Hella. Like all the people I like who I could shout out are just kind of on there, but they're kind of low key. There's also a big one, XYZ. His URL is XYZ please because of course he's going to be hard to find on SoundCloud. His other accounts even carry a lot of cool shit on there too. Those three guys, very very fucking cool.
Can't find anyone.
I'm trying to think of other people, but I think that But anyone else I'd like to shout out? I guess it's a given. I can link my little site thing, bagel.card.co. Pretty much everyone on that webpage, yeah. There's also the Hypertrans community. Those guys that I kick it with, they cool as fuck. This is actually not super related, but it's still important. There's a Discord server that I moderate called Sisterhood, which is a pretty fucking cool place to be in for Black transgender individuals who come from all different parts of states, the world, wherever the fuck. Welcome all kinds, as long as they come through and they're chill and they don't be on no crazy shit. We're good. I say Black and transgender explicitly, because that's the whole point of the server is because we don't have a lot of space for people like us like that. There's also that. Covers a lot of my bases. There's a lot of people I could shout out, but I would genuinely be here all night.
Do you by any chance have a link to the card with all the people you want to shout out? They can link?
Yeah, hold on, I can link it.
I'm like looking for stuff and I'm having a Google fail moment. Thank you.
Put it in chat. Oh, I can't post links. Yeah, I found out the hard.
Wait, can you not? It says your.
No, I can. I just did.
Okay.
Everyone on the thing you can see, literally everyone.
Okay.
It's kind of a given. My orbit shit is kind of very specific and different in this current year, 2004. Sorry, 2014.
we mentioned. And onto the penultimate question. Is there any parting words you'd like to leave everyone on? Penultimate is the second to last one, right?
Huh. Parting words you want to leave everyone on? I don't know what else to say other than never let anyone take your hope. Never let anyone make you want to crush your hope. Never let anyone fucking get you in a position where, just those two things.
Good word.
I think people are struggling with those two things more than a lot. A lot of shit regarding self-image and whatnot is just kind of stuff that comes to people. But a lot of that is tied to ability to do things. Never let someone steal your fucking spirit. Never let someone get you to a point where you want to have your fucking spirit diminished. And wherever possible, have a sense or grow a fucking sense if you struggle with this, which a lot of people do, of knowing when to stand your fucking ground when someone wants you to do some shit you maybe don't want to fucking do, and you go, no, you move. You fuck out the way with your shit. Something like that. I don't know. A lot of shit regarding being confident is definitely the move. Like, I don't know. Someone gets fussy with you about some shit you're fucking doing because it doesn't meet some standard that you don't even want to meet and you're insecure about it. You don't get like, sorry, you say you fucking do it then. Something like that. You get the idea. A lot I could say here.
Awesome
I'll keep it
words.
to that.
Awesome words. And I totally I like live by this shit.
Yeah.
Because I used to have issues where it's like, oh, if people, or I'm not meeting the standard that other people hold me to, and it's like, what the fuck standard is that? And it's like me holding myself, and it's like, what am I doing?
It's only incredibly common. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like getting past that, getting past it, and holding yourself to your own standard is like fine to a degree, but holding other people to this like weird ass standard in your head is going to like even drive you up the wall and gonna drive other people up the wall. Let's be chilling. And time for the final question. Is there anything you'd like to say to someone who cannot hear this but has had a massive impact on your life?
You made a spiritual successor to the video game I played that was released in 2001, or you directed it. that put me on to trance music as early as 3 or 4 years old and set me on a path that I am very happy that I went down, that I feel crazy that I can even say happened to me. That being said, he made a spiritual successor to this game around the time I was still a kid, and I only really got to play when I was a teenager. If you make Res 2, please DM me.
Red is also Red. Red is like so fucking. I'm like happy to hear you also have a Red like spiritual experience, because I had it with Red and Child of Eden.
I was talking about Child of Eden. I actually vaguely talked about it earlier. I'm like, I played that one. That shit was awesome. I got so good at Res that I nearly 100% at every level. I do it sometimes in front of people to show off, especially on short notice. For that game.
Honestly,
no, but like Rez literally like introduced me to trance music and dance music, technically by association, as early as when I was a baby. I shit you not. I knew what the fuck that was when I've liked techno shit since I was a kid. I was a baby.
Why?
I did. I really did.
Those games, as well as Space Channel 5 and all of those, and Tetris Effect recently have whoa.
I could put a name to him,
but the question said no name.
I will say this: the same guy who directed the shit that I like is the same guy who directed the shit you just talked about.
Oh yeah, I'm aware.
Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Love.
Anyone in chat who knows, you know.
Love.
It's obvious. if you pay attention to Sega back then, you just one way or another. Anyway, we're good.
Thank you so much for coming out. I don't know why I say this 3 times.
They invited me back on. I want to, if you want to have like someone on as a, I actually mean this kind of like genuinely. If you do want someone on board to like hang around for side commentation shit while you play some fucking whatever the hell, I'm willing.
I've been talking about doing a thing that I've had this idea for a stream where I dive into like my feelings of nostalgia while I play Boku no Natsu Yasumi, because Action Button Review, I'm just copying the Action Button Review thing, low-key, but in my own special way. I'll talk to you more about that later on, because I need to set up the next interview and and work on some more game stuff. But thank you for coming out. You're an awesome guest. Thank you for talking and spending your time here. I will have you on later on, and I want everyone to check you out. I will link your website once again. It is pinned, but everyone go here. We have cool people.
Links are there, all relevant ones. Instagram is first, even though I don't really use. Bandcamp is, SoundCloud is probably the number 1 priority. The Ko-Fi page, because God, life be like that. Twitter is also just there, I guess. And I have shirts that I need to update, and also prints I need to update, but those are also there. If you click on the link that says portfolio, it takes you to a fucking gallery full of a lot of the visual art that I've done over the years. That's also very relevant. I haven't talked about it at all, but it's also very relevant. Anyone here is literally free to fucking hit me up, ideally on Twitter, or I thought that really just works. I'm not on there often, but I will see DMs. I'm on there sometimes.
And with that, we end the interview and we raid into who do I know that Shindig is doing a DJ stream, so we'll raid into that. Is there anything you want the raid message to be?
Raid message?
Yeah.
Hypertrance Bandcamp sent you. I don't know. I'm trying to go site. That's gangling. I don't know. I got no other way to put it.
Oh, and thank you everyone for coming out. I had this button in the oven. I hate that phrase, but I like saying it for like a bit. I'm adding more scenes for future interviews and all that type of thing. But raid message was exact. Well, can you repeat it one more time? Or just type it in. Just type it in chat, and we can just copy paste it.
Yeah, hold on. I got.
And also for me, add your favorite heart to it, because that's my eternal raid message.
Here a heart?
Your favorite heart emoji, your favorite heart emote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just type the message in chat to copy paste.
Type the message in chat and copy paste. I have an emoji picker on my thing. Let me think. There we go. I think.
All right. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all. I will see you all tomorrow, and an interview will be coming at some point. So once again, thank you for coming by, and goodbye, everybody.